You know, I'm starting to feel like that meme where people with 80 IQ are like, Donald Trump is a genius, the way he got elected so cleverly. And people with like 100 IQ are like, Donald Trump's an idiot. He lucked his way into everything. And then people with 120 IQ are like, oh my God, Donald Trump's a genius. He planned everything. Well, the Donald is currently juggling multiple situations at the very same time. He is beefing with Italy, and it's based, actually. He is making believe he's beefing with Israel, and it's secretly based, actually. He gave Iran the ultimate poison pill in a deal that he knows that they cannot possibly hold up. Meanwhile, of course, gas prices are down, stock market is up, all the things are happening. The British people are rising up, fighting back. The Donald is paying close attention to that as well. It's honestly a pretty insane time to be around. We are living in the timeline where we are quite literally watching the dumbest people eating each other. So definitely subscribe, because every day, new coverage on all the things, every day in the least homosexual way possible. You are not even remotely ready for what you are about to witness. The Donald hath spoken. The war was diminished, Iran. It doesn't have longer any air force, navy, anti-aircraft equipment, radar, or practically anything else. And yet the Democrats say that Iran is better off now than it was 4 months ago. Can you even imagine getting away with that? How stupid can some people be? And you know what? Honestly, the midwits are falling for it. They're like, oh my God, Iran totally won the war because they are not dead completely yet. Again, you have to always understand what the opposition is saying. The opposition is anti-Western. They want to destroy us, Iran as well as the Democrats. They both have a very united goal in that regard. They hate America, they hate God, and they want us dead, actually. So you have to understand exactly why this propaganda is coming out. For those of you that are not paying attention, I guess, or not fully aware, we absolutely won this war against Iran. Donald Trump accomplished every single one of the things he set out to do, except for so far literally getting the nuclear dust, which is the deal that's currently being discussed over the next 60 days. And remember, this was done without losing thousands of soldiers or putting boots on the ground or being stuck for 10 years like all the retards have been saying. They were all wrong. The Donald was right. They could kiss my ass. Understand what we're dealing with. JD, Just Dance Vance, the face of this entire quote-unquote deal. For those of you that watch my videos, you understand my take generally is I don't actually want to make deals with terrorists. I'd rather blow them up. I think blowing up terrorists is fucking awesome, actually. And I will not be guilted into thinking that's not the case.
But what the President of the United States has said, counter to some of the elements within their government, is that we're going to give this negotiation a chance. We're going to go after that enriched stock.
Remember, this deal that we're talking about is a 60-day memorandum of understanding. It's an extended ceasefire. And if it doesn't actually work out over these 60 days to get all the things we want, we kill them all. I hope you understand that that's what this quote-unquote deal is that everyone's crashing out about.
Pile of uranium. We're going to try to reset the situation that we have so that the Iranians don't just have a destroyed nuclear program now, but so that we can say with some confidence, a combination of inspections and verification, that they're never going to be able to rebuild that program. The president, Rachel, comes back to this, as you know, because you know him so well.
Obama gave them fluid pallets of cash, okay? Trump is setting up some sort of system that we can expect them forever. I would rather just kill them, personally. I'm a much better guy, so therefore, I would just want to kill all of them, actually, and it's moral to do so.
Well, constantly. Iran's not going to have a nuclear weapon for the next 2.5 years. He's thinking about this for my kids' sake, for our grandkids' sake, to ensure that you never have this regime with the ability to develop a nuclear weapon. But what the president...
So again, going in for a regime change war, which would be lovely if their regime collapsed. I don't personally want to put our soldiers on the ground doing that shit for 10 years like we did in Afghanistan and Syria and Libya and all that shit. I personally don't want to do that. I think we have to operate in America's best interest, and that is preventing a terror state from terrorizing us. If the people in Iran could rise up, if we could give them weapons somehow, and they could rise up and overthrow the regime, that would be fucking awesome for us and for them. But the America First perspective needs to put our country first, period, the end. But understand, Donald Trump is putting J.D. Vance as the face of the deal and leaving Marco Rubio completely off the air. Marco Rubio hasn't shown up since this entire deal situation happened. My guess is he's against it, and he wants to actually kill the terrorists, which I think is based, actually. So I think what Donald Trump is doing is he's trying both strategies somehow. You know, he has the Vance camp telling him to make a deal. He has the Rubio camp telling him to blow them up. And he's like, you know what? We'll do both. We'll do both. JD, you're in charge of the deal. You have 60 days. Figure this shit out. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, we're going to go the Rubio route, and it's going to be a lot bloodier. And you'll see. Now, anyway, Israel releases footage of Hezbollah violating the ceasefire again and again. This is Hezbollah bombing a civilian Israeli home. They have been basically figuring out that it turns out all of the foreign aid that we are giving Hezbollah, because apparently that's a thing that we were doing under USAID and shit, it was helping them build underground terror tunnels on southern Lebanon, which is on the Israeli border. It's 2 kilometers long, 10 kilometers from Israel's actual border. So again, understand this is exactly what Israel is dealing with on southern Lebanon. So when people are like, oh my God, I can't believe Israel. Yes, they don't want terrorists to have tunnels into their country. It's a relatively understandable take. And it's the reason why no one's actually, well, no one, but when I say no one, I mean no one that matters is actually criticizing Israel for bombing Hezbollah, because Hezbollah fucking sucks. They've killed hundreds of our soldiers, and thousands of people around the world and in the Middle East, and they fucking suck, and we hate them, and them dying is good, actually. And so Israel killing a death cult is actually awesome. All right, now, this was the major Israel W. This is why the Islamic Republic is panicking. One of Hezbollah's most important command centers fell tonight. This was last night, when Israel actually took down a giant Hezbollah command center that was tied to a gigantic sprawling tunnel network on southern Lebanon, which is existing for the sole purpose of invading Israel and killing civilians. Now, understand, the way that Hezbollah was able to do this is because first, they ethnically cleansed the Christian population in Lebanon so that they could actually have the area to do terrorism against Jews. Muslims trying to do terrorism against Jews and Christians? That's unthinkable. They've never done something like this historically. But yes, this is why Iran is having their gigantic crash out. Their military is destroyed. Hamas is gone. The Houthis are fucking cooked. All right, their last line of terror is essentially Hezbollah outposts, which is why all of Iran's negotiations seem to hinge on Israel not killing terrorists on their border. All right, you have to understand the fundamental goal of the death cult is to kill. All right, so obviously this is why they're like not happy with this. Israel's ambassador said, imagine how long it takes to carve a tunnel network like this into a mountain. All right, and this is the shit that they're dealing with, because you are dealing with a terrorist organization hell-bent on murdering the infidels. They did it to Christians in Lebanon. They're doing it to Jews in Israel. They've killed Americans in Beirut. Fuck these guys. Them dying is awesome, actually. And they've killed 4 Israeli soldiers, which, again, for some reason, obviously, you have, like, the retards being like, oh, I can't believe Israel is violating the ceasefire. Meanwhile, Hezbollah is literally committing acts of terror daily, firing dozens and dozens of missiles into Israel and killing their soldiers, and they're supposed to do nothing. So, again, this is how Iran operates. Their goal was to get Hezbollah to attack Israel, so when Israel returns fire, which obviously they will, they'll be like, oh wow, Israel broke the deal. So breaking, the IRGC closes the Strait of Hormuz. Again, remember that was like line number 1 on the memorandum of understanding? The Strait of Hormuz remains open. Well, Iran closed it, actually. And then Donald had something to say. But before that, exclusive, this is coming out of CNN. Understand, this is the leftoid retards. Exclusive, Lebanese president accuses Iran of using his country as a bargaining chip in peace talks with the U.S. The craziest thing is, you have the Podcastistan members, like the fucking retards out there, the Tucker Carlsons and Hassan Pikers of the world. These fucking retards are being, I can't believe Israel is attacking Lebanon. Israel's attacking Hezbollah, a terrorist organization that's been terrorizing Lebanon and Israel. So when the Lebanese president is accusing Iran of using his country as a bargaining chip, I love how, for some reason, Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and Hassan Piker and Cenk Uygur, they actually understand what's good for the Lebanese people, as opposed to the president of Lebanon, right? So anyway, meanwhile, in Iran, they are still doing their unbelievable, atrocious bullshit. Iranian singer Parastu Ahmadi sentenced to 74 lashes for performing without wearing a hijab. All right, now the leftoids, but hijab is a choice, says the lefties. Yeah, that doesn't work. And people are starting to really pick up on this. 136,000 likes. This is a really big story. 74 lashes is insane. But what if I told you that this headline is actually not accurate? You see, she is not sentenced to 74 lashes for performing without a hijab. She is sentenced to 74 lashes for performing, because in Iran, a woman is not allowed to sing without getting 74 lashes. Okay? Understand the level of retard we're dealing with that the entire left is coming together to defend. Understand. So Hezbollah launched 50+ projectiles towards IDF soldiers in southern Lebanon in order to remove these threats, and blah, blah, blah. They have to fucking die. Based. Killing terrorists is awesome, actually. And the Donald has responded to Iran closing the strait. There will be no tolls in the Hormuz Strait for 60 days during the ceasefire period. Understand. That is what these 60 days are. Everyone thinks this is a deal of some sort, that we're giving them all the things. We're not giving them jack shit. This isn't a deal. It's a memorandum of understanding. It's a 60-day ceasefire, but everyone's retarded. And they would rather jump to say that America bad and America lost because it turns out basically all of the pro-Iran, anti-America sentiment, it's massive, and it's the entire global left working with the third worldist Islamists to destroy us. And if you are falling for it, you kind of fucking suck. All right, no offense, but you do. And there will be no tolls after the 60-day period has expired unless, get a load of this one, they're imposed by and for the United States of America. God damn. Yeah, so again, this is the Donald putting another nuke on the table, being like, listen, Iran, if you don't want this deal, not only are we going to bomb the fuck out of you, but we are going to start tolling people for entering the Strait of Hormuz. For services rendered as the guardian angel of the countries in the Middle East and purposes of both past, present, and future, reimbursement of costs. Reimbursement of costs. We are going to charge people for going through the Strait of Hormuz. That's the Donald. Now, no one wants to acknowledge how badly we're actually winning this war. U.S. surpasses Saudi Arabia and Russia to become the world's largest oil exporter. Wow! Wow! So you mean to tell me that all the things are literally working out? Wow, now Iran has Donald Trump right where they want him. They have him right where they want him. We are the #1 oil exporter on the planet, but apparently that's supposed to be a bad thing, and we lost a war or something, according to the retards. Now, Vance has been saying some things that have been turning a lot of eyebrows. All right, as you know, I cover all the things in the least homosexual way possible on this channel, so I just have to say, someone is getting butt-fucked by Muslims. All right, and we have to talk about it. So Vance said something that made a lot of eyebrows raise.
So do you have any immediate plans to join Jared and Steve?
Yeah, I expect that I will leave sometime the next couple of days, but, you know, it's always a delicate...
And he just left last night.
Coordination dance, right, and the diplomatic protocols. I got to be honest with you, I don't really understand these things.
I don't really understand these things.
Never been particularly into diplomatic protocols. My attitude is, let's get on the ground and actually fix these problems. Right. But they want to do a delicate dance. The Qataris and the Pakistanis want to make sure that we do this in the right way.
I don't really understand these things, but the Qataris and Pakistanis are telling me what to do, and I'm just doing it without really understanding. That's a really interesting thing to say.
So I'm trying to be respectful. Given my position of the last year and a half, I have to care about diplomatic protocols all of a sudden.
Yeah. It's really interesting. Could you imagine if you would have said, I don't really understand what's going on, but I'm just listening to whatever Israel says? Could you imagine the response from, like, the retard right if something like that happens? Can you imagine that Cenk Uyghur's having, like, actual fucking actual heart attacks on camera if shit like that happens? Vance says, I just defer all the decisions to Israel. Cut to Vance having a stroke. Cut to Cenk Uyghur having a stroke, you know? But no, obviously, this is really weird. Really, really weird. And it seems like the Vance side of this discussion, again, understand the way I'm framing it. I believe that you have the Vance camp, which is like Vance, more like the Tucker Carlson type people saying that we need to do this peace deal thing. And then we have the Rubio side of we actually have to blow up terrorists, which is why I think Rubio is silent about all this. He's waiting patiently. He's waiting patiently to rape them. All right, that's what that's what he is patiently waiting to do, okay? Which is based, actually, because killing terrorists is awesome, all right? And don't let generations of psyops trick you into thinking killing terrorists is not awesome. It is. But JD seems like he's just kind of putting everything in Pakistan and Qatar side. Again, Pakistan and Qatar both hate us. All right, Pakistan is flooding our countries with Pakistani rape gangs. You got Qatar literally funding the Muslim Brotherhood. They host Al Jazeera, which is basically a mouthpiece of the Islamic regime of Iran. I know that currently there's issues between Qatar and Iran because Iran bombed them. But essentially, they hate the West too. That's why they're funding all of our universities to jihad us to death or whatever. All right, just understand what's going on. That is not very reassuring. Now, someone on Fox News has been saying something relatively interesting.
J.D. Vance go after Israel yesterday. I wish he would be that tough with Iran. And Israel, if this is the reason they put these talks on hold, Israel had 4 IDF soldiers killed. What do you expect them to do? And if you want them to go along with the plan, you should tell them what's in the plan. They were not even in the talks.
See, I think part of the reason why we excluded Israel from the talks was to always say, But Israel never agreed to anything, because I think people think that somehow there's like a rift forming between Trump and Israel. You know, one day Israel's completely controlling Trump and America, and then the other day Trump hates Israel and it is comparing Israel to Al-Qaeda and stuff. If you are actually falling for any of this slopaganda, you might be retarded. Israel is an ally of ours that literally gives us so much intelligence, so much technologically advanced, battle-tested weaponry, technology, and stuff like that. They literally fought shoulder to shoulder with us during this war. We stopped them from continuing the 12-day war about a year ago, and now we stopped them from continuing this war again right now. There is an obvious explanation here, and honestly, if you believe in Occam's razor, you should accept the fact that Donald Trump is working very closely with Israel during this whole thing. The reason why Israel was left out of the negotiations was so Israel would not be actually bound to any agreement. They could always say, well, I didn't sign nothing. I'm killing terrorists on my border. And the Donald could shrug and say, what can I do? Bibi just fucking kills terrorists. Not my problem. I don't know what's going on. I have no... Bibi... No, what the fuck is he doing? You know, wink, wink, keep killing terrorists. I think it's very obvious that that's what's going on. So Israel will complete its objectives, killing terrorists that are enemies of ours, so W Israel also. And we are going to try to make some sort of peace agreement where we could not extend this war. The most obvious good cop, bad cop of all time, and everyone's falling for it. Now, again, I wonder what part Vance is playing, because he has been basically going in on Israel constantly and basically said, oh, the Iranians, they're such reasonable people. Yeah, reasonable people. Rubio, on the other hand, all right, he's been silenced, but a lot of old Rubio clips keep popping up because it's like, what is going on here, actually?
The Iranian foreign minister, what he said at the UN Human Rights Commission, accusing the U.S. and Israel of genocide.
Iran is accusing us and Israel of pretendicide.
The Iranian, oh, okay. Well, he's an expert in genocide. They're experts in that because, you know, they sponsor terrorism all over the world.
That's right.
And
They're the pros.
Thousands and thousands of people. Look at the Middle East. Look at the Middle East, guys. Every problem in the Middle East tracks back to Iran. Hezbollah, Iran. Shia militias that are destroying and threatening Iraq, Iran. Hamas, Iran. The Houthis, Iran. Assad when he was in Syria, Iran. The only kind, everywhere you turn, they're behind all of it.
It's like, bro understands exactly what the fuck we're dealing with, which is why his silence right now is telling a big story. Now, interestingly enough, Grok finally, the AI, finally, is like very clear about it. It's like, what is your opinion on if Israel is committing a genocide in Gaza? And even Grok is like, no, Israel's not committing a genocide in Gaza. Definition requires specific intent to destroy Palestinians as a group. Israel operations target Hamas. After the October 7th massacre, they killed over 1,200 Israelis, mostly civilians, documented mass rape, torture, burning, and hostage taking. Hamas embeds military assets in civilian areas, diverts aid. Israel issues warnings, facilitated humanitarian corridors. Civilian deaths are tragic, but stem from this urban war initiated by Hamas, not the intent to eradicate a people. All right, again, it's like even the AI is like, no, dude, bro, are you fucking retarded? Like, there is nothing. It's so crazy how this propaganda psyoped so many people. And now we have to talk about the retards. Because the retards are some of my favorite. They're why I got into politics. A lot of people say, why did you get into politics? Are you doing it to make the world a better place? Sure, but mostly it's to make fun of retards. So Anna Kasparian is on a podcast, and honestly, she is one of the retards.
You see? But I'm sorry, in my opinion, no terrorist worse than the Israelis exists. I'm sorry, but like, they've trained dogs to rape Palestinian hostages?
No.
100%. The New York Times of all places, like Zionist Publication 101.
Wow, New York Times Zionist Publication 101. Guy named Ahmed, whatever the fuck, is literally quoting a Palestinian terrorist that has no evidence.
Recently publicized a story about that.
Dogs.
Publicized the testimony of a Palestinian terrorist about that.
Dogs, yeah. They're using dogs to rape Palestinian hostages.
You see? It's incredible. Does anyone believe this? Like, do they even believe the things they say themselves? Or do they just say it in a way to, like, trick other people into repeating the same lie? And if you repeat the same lie enough times, all of a sudden, yeah, I don't think Israel is training dogs to rape Palestinians. And if you think so, you might be retarded. Remember, Gaza also accused Israel of training spy dolphins for spying on Hamas strategy. So they were harpooning dolphins, saying that they were Israeli spies. Again, you have to understand, you're dealing with 67 IQ average inbred motherfucking terrorist people. Right? These guys fucking suck in general. Now, Anna Kasparian, same podcast. She keeps going. Like, again, this is the brain rot that is, well, it destroyed the left, obviously, with all the woke shit. All right, but it is miserable.
said the same
the
thing
kids
about
say.
Michael Jackson, right? And have you?
I don't believe the bullshit
You
about
see-
Michael Jackson. I think Michael Jackson was framed.
Oh,
I think
shit.
Michael Jackson was punished
Why?
for daring to speak out on behalf of the Palestinian people.
Bro. Michael Jackson, staunch supporter of Palestine. And they framed him for being a pedophile because he supported Palestine. Again, no one believes this. Like, this is the thing. I wonder how brain broken you have to quote George Orwell. You know, the guy who wrote 1984? To quote George Orwell, anti-Semitism gives people the supernatural ability to believe the unbelievable. That's not me saying it. That's George Orwell, a prophetic guy, basically, if you've read 1984, Animal Farm. Like that dude's been cooking. So it's just wild watching this. All right, you got Anna Kasparian, long live the resistance. What the fuck? Like, dude, these people that massacred 40,000 of their own people, even Destiny, and this is the funniest part, it's watching the left eat each other, right? The sad thing is that you are a liberal and you want to criticize Israel, you have to be careful because it's hard to become instantly associated with anti-Semitic, anti-Western, anti-intellectual trash like Anna Kasparian. Dude, it's wonderful watching the left eat each other. It really is. Anna Kasparian, should have been more than 4. This is referring to the 4 Israeli soldiers that were killed. If they don't want to get killed, they should get the fuck out of Lebanon. And yes, I said what I said. It's like, remember, this is Anna Kasparian being like, Israel must obey the ceasefire, but also, yeah, Hezbollah, keep killing Israelis. It's pretty insane watching the toggle, right? How is it logical to support a ceasefire, but also cheer when the ceasefire is violated? It's almost like they actually just support terrorism. Wow. You mean to tell me that the foreigner leftoids that are somehow in our country, they all just support terrorism, actually? Wow, that's crazy. I wouldn't have ever seen that one coming. All right, again, this is a Palestinian mother who's, obviously, we have to take her words, like, to our heart because this is a Palestinian. Why do the Palestinians give birth to so many boys and girls? I heard a beautiful answer to this question. We give birth to so many children so we could push them to death, to martyrdom. By Allah, if all my children and grandchildren are martyred for the sake of Allah, it will make me happy. Allah will be praised. I love this path. Children are raised from a young age. Allah is our goal. Jihad for the sake of Allah. From infancy, children will be nurtured to love jihad, to want to meet Allah. Yeah, so anyway, again, I'm really glad that we can get the Palestinian mother's insights on the fact that Palestine essentially fucking sucks. Man, I personally am so shocked as to why there's so many Palestinian terrorist organizations. Palestinians started doing terrorism in Egypt. Egypt shut them into Gaza. They started doing terrorism in Lebanon. They started doing terrorism in Jordan. They did terrorism in Israel. Man, I am so surprised that the people so rich with such a rich culture like this are fucking monsters. For like not all of them, obviously, but a lot of them, obviously, because the culture fucking sucks. Now Somalia gets involved. Somalia warns Israel not to meddle in Somaliland. Somaliland is an area of Somalia that's breaking off. They don't want to be part of the Somali pirates, you know, because they have like child mutilation and slavery and shit there. Of course, the fact that blacks in Somalia are enslaving blacks is probably still white people's fault somehow. But I think it's important to recognize Somalia, fucking loser of a country, by the way. They're scalping each other in the streets. They warn Israel not to meddle in Somaliland. It's like actual hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby situation. These guys can't fucking do shit, all right? Just to understand what we're dealing with. Now, Tucker Carlson, he's also been on a bit of a tear, and I'm really glad that that the mask comes off here so easily.
People. So what would be the natural, obvious, well-documented effects of this? Well, migrant crises in Europe.
He thinks that Israel killing terrorists in Hezbollah is causing migrant crises in Europe. Like, you have to be fucking retarded. There is no reason why Europe needs to let these people in their country. All right, Israel killing terrorists has nothing to do with retarded white liberal women in Europe that are pushing and voting for the most left-wing fucking agenda of all time to import infinite retards. You know, again, this has nothing to do with the other. It doesn't. One has nothing to do with the other.
Further destroy Europe? Well, that's always been an Israeli goal, destroy Europe.
Yes, Israel's goal is to destroy Europe now, according to Tucker Carlson.
Still mad about Rome in 70 AD or something. Who knows what?
Yes.
But
still mad at Rome in 70 AD. So current day Israel is trying to destroy Europe by killing terrorists on their border that are trying to kill them. Meanwhile, Tucker Carlson has still not said a word about the grooming gangs in England. In fact, he likes the Pakistanis in England, he stated many times. He has also specifically and interestingly taken the side of Russia, as Russia literally destroys Europe. It is wild thinking that destroying Europe is an Israeli goal when Israel is trying to kill terrorists on their border that are killing their people. It's actually shocking. It's mind-numbing. Now, of course, he keeps going, talking about Charlie Kirk probably getting killed by Israel and stuff, which, again, by the way, 9 months since Charlie Kirk was tragically assassinated, still zero evidence tying Israel to his assassination.
Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Yeah.
And he was not murdered for his opinions on transgenderism, obviously. He was...
I love how he says obviously after stating something that is not obvious at all.
Believe, and most people who knew him well, as I did, and was friends with him as I was, believe he was most likely murdered for his evolving views on Israel.
Bro, what are we doing?
I get it. A lot's at stake.
No evidence, by the way.
The world is at stake. But from my perspective, I have a duty to say what I think is true. I'm often wrong. And
He was paid $15 million by Omar Malik, an Iranian billionaire, by the way, to run his show. Just saying that he's totally not paid off. He bought a house in Qatar. He goes to Russia to talk about how fresh the bread smells in grocery stores there. All right, let's be real for a second. But the really interesting thing is, Charlie Kirk handed the Republicans a rare chance to absolutely crush the left, and instead they turned it into a circular firing squad. Literally true. And of course, Candace Owens gets involved as well. Thank you for all the messages of concern, but I am not dead. Wow. If I were, blame Israel. All right, dude. Also, Charlie Kirk was not killed by a transgender furry. They do the same thing every single time. But the craziest thing is, if you actually watch Charlie Kirk while he was alive, he was constantly stating that he had security because the woke left keeps trying to kill him.
You're not expecting trouble, are you?
Not quite.
You trouble with security?
Unfortunately.
You do?
Yeah.
Wow. Like what kind?
You know, security.
Well, I'm sorry that you have to do that, but that's the price of fame. And boy, I mean, man, you're everywhere. You're
we
like
have
the new It Boy of podcasts. No, it's true.
We have different jihadis that want to kill me. The purple-haired jihadis, the woke guys.
Well,
so
they kill me. They want to kill me just as bad.
Probably.
Oh, they really do.
No, you.
Well, that didn't age very well, but the point that I'm trying to make is he has stated dozens of times that it's woke people and leftists that keep trying to kill him. All right, and now we have this rewriting of history as an obvious way to divide and destroy the West. Now, Asmongold actually has been based as fuck about this, which is why I have to say I am appreciative.
Like, I mean, if Israel is blowing up terrorists, then I'm happy.
Yes.
If Syria is blowing up terrorists, then I'm happy.
Yes.
If France is blowing up terrorists, then I'm happy.
Yes. Now, those other ones aren't doing that, but yes.
If Iraq is blowing up terrorists, then I'm happy. I don't care who's doing it. It doesn't matter who's doing it to me. Like, I mean, if Israel...
And the honest truth is, yeah, actually, killing terrorists is awesome, actually. And I'm really glad that bro actually has the right take on this. He really does, actually. And again, anyone that's actually being reasonable and honest about the situation will totally see exactly what I'm talking about. And Asmongold is nail on the head on this one.
This is what my opinion on a lot of the Jew hate is. I think that it is a subversion that's been created by people that want to undermine right-wing figures, and they have introduced the Jew hate inside of the right-wing party to divide the party and make the party fighting and playing Among Us on who's a Jew and who's not, rather than who should be in the country and who shouldn't be in the country.
Real.
I think in the same way that the Democrat Party was poison-pilled with identity politics like trans stuff, I think that the Republican Party is being poison-pilled by fixating everything around Israel. Everything is about Israel. Listen, when every single one of the people...
By the way, Asmongold almost fell into the Israel hole, by the way, if you were paying attention. And about 6 months ago, I made a video, and I pointed out that, yeah, Asmongold looks like he's falling down that Israel rabbit hole, but you'll see, he's honest. He looks at things honestly and objectively, and he's going to change his mind. You'll see. Nuxanor strikes again, because I could tell. He's trying to be honest about it. And yeah, you could blame Israel on a lot of shit, for sure. Why not? But Israel had Sumerian time travelers trying to kill Charlie Kirk.
That I don't want in the country is against this. This needs to be said more. I think that's what it is.
That's right.
Jews invented globalism. Jews did not invent globalism. There are tons of people that believe in globalism and do globalism that are not Jews. This entire fixation around blaming everything on them is just stupid. And
leftist Jews are a problem, just like leftist everyone is a problem. It's actually like leftism is a problem, a massive problem. Jews are overrepresented in left-wing spaces. Yes, Jews are also overrepresented in right-wing spaces. You know why? Jews are overrepresented in almost every single space. Jews literally tend to be a hardworking group of people with a high average IQ, and very often Jews help each other out to get a leg up on the competition, which I understand is very annoying. Jews are overrepresented in the founding of communism and in the founding of capitalism. All right, actually. All right, it's kind of insane.
Keep in mind, too,
George Washington wrote a letter of thanks to the Jews for funding the revolution against England. All right, like, you have to understand what we're dealing with here. All right, this is hundreds of years old. Jews have always been the issue, and Jews have always been the solution at the same time. That's right. W Jews and L Jews. We take all of them.
This is the most important thing to keep in mind. When you say that kind of stuff and you do that, you find yourself on the same side of every single organization and group that wants...
You're going to blame all the Jews on all the things? You, Cenk Uygur, and fucking Hassan Piker are all on the same side on a lot of issues. Interesting.
...to destroy the United States and Western civilization. Every single group thinks the exact same thing. You're wrong on this issue, Zach. I do not think that Jews are the main cause for all of our problems. I think this is a total subversion that's been created to poison the right wing and the conservative movement to keep it fighting amongst itself rather than recognizing where the real enemies are. I think that's exactly what's happening.
Real.
I think you guys are, and again, like the only thing that I have to think about beyond that is that like the all of the white women that are going out there and voting for infinity illegal aliens, I mean, at a certain point, you have to say that it's kind of their fault, isn't it?
I would say so.
Like, I mean, this is the problem: is that this idea that these Jewish people are these masterminds that have convinced everybody to do everything.
That's right.
Everybody has been convinced to do everything by these Jews. Like, honestly, here's the way that I look at it. Okay, and people might not want to hear this. If they're really this smart, there's 8 million Jews in the world. They control the whole fucking world. I think
like 15 million, but same idea.
That's pretty fucking impressive. I do. I think that's insanely fucking impressive. You have 8 million.
Join us. Join the cabal. Join the Jew side. 15 million Jews. I mean, let's be real here. 2 billion Muslims can't kill 9 million Jews in Israel. That's pretty diabolical, actually.
People that are controlling the whole world, or sorry, 15, 20 million people. Get the fuck out of here. 8 million's Israel, excuse me.
Yeah, Jews, they do all the things, actually. And, bro, he has been having multiple crash outs because people keep joining his chat doing the same thing.
And I think that so many of these people are actual goyim, and you've been convinced that Israel is your biggest enemy.
That's right.
While you side with other people.
Israel, a little country that's actually incredibly innovative and technologically advanced per capita, is actually the main issue, not the 250,000 Muslim rape gang situations in England, for example, and that's just England. Right? Yeah, that's definitely a much bigger problem, for sure.
That want to ethnically and demographically replace you in a different way, and you think that they're on their side. That's what's happening to you, and
it's brutal. It's wild watching this turn of events. Now, I have to say, I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on Asmongold's ideology for the most part. He even reacted to me talking about it. And the truth is, and again, I find this very, very interesting indeed. I did call his switch up on the Jew thing months ago because I was like, he's an honest guy. He's gonna see that so much of this Jew shit is just absolute hysteria. I like Asmongold's takes generally because like. It's like ruthlessly pragmatic, all right? That's basically it. He doesn't have some sort of grounding moral compass. He's just...
I do have a moral compass. It just doesn't point north.
But not a grounding one.
I have an extremely strong moral compass, and sometimes that's the problem. My idea of what the moral and the right decision to do is generally isn't the way other people see things.
Like, this will make society best, actually, if we just kill all these people.
Let me...
Well... Well, listen, man, I got a grasp. I know what we're talking about. Meanwhile, Trump is beefing with Italy in the funniest way ever. President Donald Trump obliterated Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni after she sounded off on him. Just to understand what's actually going on, Italian Foreign Minister cancels trip to U.S. over Trump's comments about Meloni. But Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni completely destroys Donald Trump, basically crashing out that Donald Trump said that I wanted a picture with him. I don't beg for pictures. I wanted nothing. How dare you behave this way to your allies? She screams from her golden toilet. All right, now again, the Donald responded, and he don't take no shit, actually. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni asked over and over for a picture with me during the G7 meeting in France. She's doing poorly in Italy. Oh my God, he doubles down. With a level of popularity, possibly because she turned down the United States of America, a country that truly loves and protects Italy, when it came to denying Iran from obtaining or developing a nuclear weapon. But so did NATO, for that matter. She wouldn't even let us use Italy's landing strips or runways, a great logistical inconvenience. By the way, this is massive, and I'm really happy that Trump is not forgetting about this and just letting it wash under the bridge. We need to leave NATO. We need to fucking obliterate our alliance with retards that aren't going to reciprocate. I'm sorry. I'm a simple man. I care about America. I don't want to be funding NATO, especially if these people won't help us when we need the help. And this, despite the fact that U.S. contributes hundreds of billions of dollars a year to protect Italy and so-called NATO allies. Now, after the United States defeated Iran militarily, she wants to be friends again in order to get her numbers up. No thanks, President DJT. Just absolute cookery, based as fuck, actually. I'm so glad he's doing that. Of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene immediately jumps on to say, I believe Giorgia Meloni. She's great. Trump lies. It's insane. It's insane watching everyone just backstab Trump because they don't like Trump personally. So therefore, they're just gonna have this the retarded perspective every single time. But understand my stance on Meloni. She's a right-wing politician in Italy, and I actually really like Italy. I've been there many times. But I have something very interesting to say. Meloni's a fraud. All right, this is Italian residents helplessly watching in horror from their balconies, unable to believe their eyes, as this takes over. This is just nice Italian culture these days, ladies and gentlemen. Meloni came in to stop migration and shit like that, and you know what she did? Fucking nothing. Meloni, in my opinion, is baloney. Got him. She is controlled opposition. I don't know what take she's on. I don't know what the globalist, fucking EU retard oligarchs promised her, but she is a globalist, ultimately. She is the equivalent of Nigel Farage in England. Controlled opposition, saying the right-wing things, more based in general, but still importing infinite retards and not doing anything to maintain the actual culture of the country that she's in charge of. Europe has fallen so far to the left that even the based right-wing politicians are really just controlled opposition, giving people hope for a future that's not exactly the same, and they get none of it. Yes, Tucker Carlson says Israel is trying to destroy Europe. Meanwhile, European politicians feel the need to do this to their country. Yeah, sorry, man. This is actually all Europe's fault. Oh no, the consequences of my actions. I have to blame the Jews. All right, dude. Now, the libtards are seething on a way we've never seen seething of this magnitude, actually. Seething and coping that could break the space-time continuum apart, all right? We got leftoids saying, man, woke one was crazy. Man, and they were all, like, kneeling and stuff with masks, and it's like, bro, woke 2 is 1,000,000 times worse. You are all terrorists. Anyway, importantly to note, there was a church that was just burnt down yesterday. The South Bushwick Church in New York City burnt down, 173 years old. Cause not known. It was Muslims. Just trying to help you understand here, obviously. Cause not known why the church got burnt down. It was Muslims. Now, of course, a few weeks apart in New York City, an 138-year-old Astoria church burns, and then an 173-year-old Bushwick church burns. Both causes of both fires not known. It was Muslims. In fact, a lot of people are starting to notice that, hey, wait a second, as soon as Muslims started immigrating to Japan, all of its Shinto shrines and Buddhist temples were burning down. Causes not known, just like all the churches that are getting burnt down in Europe. Causes also not known. You see, this also aligns very interestingly with the synagogue in Michigan that was blown up. Cause known, that was a Muslim. All right. Or all the fire bombings of synagogues in England, for example. Also, causes completely unknown. We do not want to say that they're terrorism at this time. It's really interesting if you think about it for just a second, actually. Wow, it's funny. It's funny. I don't know, man. Maybe other people will put the dots together. Hey, not you being Islamophobic. You know, I'd stop being Islamophobic if they start burning our shit down. All right, let's be honest with ourselves for a second here. Now, Muslim mayor of New York City, Zohran Mamdani, is pissing off the left, and by the left I mean like the not terrorist. So you have to understand the way the left operates. Okay, so the left is a very interesting conundrum of people. All right, so you got like the center left, which is retarded atheist losers. All right, and then you got the far left. See, the far left are terrorists. All right, now I'm really glad that I get aligned that very nicely. So the communists, they fall into the far left camp, so do the jihadis and the fucking foreigners that want to rape your country to death. All right, now the center left, those are the enablers. Those are the retards that enable the far left to rape us to death, which is not as bad, I would argue, but still pretty fucking horrible. So Hutch, this is a moderate leftist. All right, all I want are pragmatic and progressive politicians, but why are they all fucking terrorists?
But Chevalier has come under fire for past comments that she's made, calling to abolish the police, criticizing the military, calling President Obama evil, calling President Biden a rapist and a war criminal. She used profane language when describing other top Democrats. She criticized interracial relationships, and she even took aim at Senator Bernie Sanders for, quote, liberal Zionism. But Chevalier...
Yeah, and that's basically what we're dealing with. It's like, why is it such a tall order? Like, are we... Moderate leftists are just like, hey, we just want to elect people that don't think America is evil and shit. And then it's like, no, actually, you can't do that. I thought you liked Zoran, and now you don't endorse a politician that he endorses? You can't say anything bad, or Zoran or your community will eat you alive? And by the way, America is evil. This is the actual leftists. All right, just Zoran endorsed a full-on lunatic. I don't know what to tell you. Even the libtards are like, oh man, I really fucking hate that like all these leftists are terrorists and shit. All right, Avila Chevalier, in a series of messages, called Joe Biden a rapist and war criminal during the 2020 presidential election, referred to the U.S. as a fucking disgrace. Talked about wiping her dirty hands on the American flag. Described interracial relationships involving white females as fetishizing ugly colonizer women. All right, so again, the left, the anti-racist party, endorsed this fucking bitch. All right, I just want you to understand what you're dealing with. All right, so the left is eating each other because it turns out everyone on the far left are terrorists that hate America and should be deported. Anyway, the point that the really interesting thing is, all right, Knicks fans are just, I guess, emptying out garbage. Now, Zohran Mamdani's New York City, ladies and gentlemen, the third worldification of America. That is actually just the goal of the far left. The Japanese would harpoon this fat whale for behavior, and the Japanese people would be based. Now, Elizabeth Warren keeps making believe that she is actually fighting for a good cause here. As you can see, this got 5 million views, 6,000 likes, 17 million replies. It didn't go well. If Elon Musk paid my ultra-millionaire tax, we could fully cover the community college in America. Now, there are many things to notice here. First, obviously, she is a multimillionaire. She is worth $67 million on a salary of $285K a year. How did that happen? Probably fraud or insider trading or something like that. That is the obvious position. But the really, really interesting take is, I actually would rather have SpaceX. All right, imagine if we had no SpaceX and Tesla and just more community college graduates. Wow, what a deal. Yeah, right. Again, just to understand, more taxes. A lot of people live in the retarded worldview that, okay, dude, there's so much to unpack here. And I'll rip it apart for you little by little. Actually, infinity taxing rich people is immoral because stealing is bad. Even if you vote for stealing their money, stealing is still immoral. That's one. Two, it wouldn't even help shit, right? Because it's like, oh, the government will get another $1 billion. That'll fucking help. No, it won't. You think that'll help jack shit? Bro, it'll just make another Elizabeth Warren worth $67 million. How do you think all these people became rich? It's all fraud. Where's our tax money actually going? We have no fucking idea. I have no idea where my tax dollars are going. So why on earth would I trust you ever? Right? I think that the private sector is worth infinitely more than the public sector. You people are all scammers, liars, and cheats. You have no reason whatsoever to use our money that you are stealing. All right, but you voted to steal it, so therefore it's fine. That you are stealing our money to use that for your own fucking machinations. All right, I don't trust you. I don't trust you at all. All right, now understand the major drama going on in left-wing politics lately is not the Iran deal, because unfortunately they have nothing to say about that. The left has been saying that we are getting into World War III right now over Iran for the last, 2 months, so unfortunately they can't use that anymore. All right, they can't say Trump is killing Americans. They can't say that Trump is killing Iranians. They really have nothing. So they've decided to pivot. Their new pivot is they really want to talk about the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool in Washington, D.C. That's right, because Donald Trump used $14 million to renovate a pool in our nation, which it makes sense that our nation shouldn't look like absolute shit. I understand that the left wants the third worldification of America, but if the left has an issue with us not complying with that, they should fucking move to Somalia. All right, we don't need to turn America to Somalia too. America's pretty awesome, actually. I would rather $14 million go to renovate the actual reflecting pool than give illegal aliens healthcare. And it's not even remotely close. The options aren't even remotely the same. I want our country to actually look fucking awesome. I don't want our country to be a little cesspool for retards. Sorry, that's just my opinion. You can disagree with it all you want, but that would just make you a retard. That's okay, you're allowed. It's a free country. So, everyone, this is the big scandal, as you can see. Paint was seen peeling from the floor of the Lincoln Memorial Pool. Wow, wow. It is a scam. Donald Trump is scamming us by cleaning the reflecting pool. Now, this has been wall-to-wall coverage on every single left-wing media outlet. This is why no one gives a fuck about left-wing media anymore. Because this has been the #1 story in every left-wing media outlet for the last week. All right, not even exaggerating. I've been trying to find interesting shit to cover, and I do. I actually do a fantastic job. I'm really good at what I do. But this is why I get more viewers than CBS News. It's because CBS News is fucking retarded. This is their story? Really? This is the story? Trump is currently beefing with the Prime Minister of Italy. Trump is winning a war against Iran. Fauci is going to jail. More on that in like 2 minutes. Gavin Newsom is getting investigated for fraud. Obama is getting investigated for treason. There is so much happening in America right now, and yet the main story on every single media outlet is how paint is peeling from the floor of the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. Now, the reflecting pool has gotten more coverage than Somalian daycare fraud, Laken Riley's murder, Biden's mental health decline combined. This is true, but also, you know what else you could add to that? The rape of 250,000 British girl by Muslim migrants. That's pretty weird how they decided not to include that. Now, the thing is, this has become the main story, and they've been bringing everyone in to discuss the reflecting pool.
Do you believe that algae didn't exist when Barack Obama was the president? Is that right?
I believe that once he invested in the beautification of that specific part, what we did not see was a takeover that was blue and green within 36 to 48 hours after the investment happened. Because we just didn't see anything happen.
Just for the record, for 1.6 billion years, algae has existed in stagnant pools on planet Earth, but not during the Obama administration.
What I'm saying is that it was treated, which is what Donald Trump could have done before he invested millions of American taxpayer dollars when Americans
now they care about American taxpayer dollars
on the tables for their families.
I learned something tonight. I didn't realize that President Obama had cured algae when for 1.6 billion years algae had been undefeated. So I've learned something this evening. Look, here's the deal. It's not.
Can I say that I think part of it was that the president was coming out, and he has talked about these projects so much. I mean, he's not just like, this isn't just other people bringing up what he's doing in Washington with the ballroom.
And this is the main story. This is the main story on every left-wing media outlet. It's actually shocking. It's insane. I'll be honest. It's wild. It's wildly retarded. Meanwhile, the left directly talks about what their actual strategy is in regards to if they win in 2028. God help us all.
Well, since we're there, what about the Electoral College?
I think we need to look at that too.
They want to disband the Electoral College so they can win popular votes by importing infinite retards. Do you understand? Do you understand? Right? That sounds pretty fascist-y. Right? Oh, Trump is a fascist because he won an election. Anyway, we need to stop the Electoral College. We need to change things.
I think we need to look at that too. Yes. Yes, I do.
Because it's clear to me, this is me, I don't want to put words in your mouth, that we are being governed by a minority in this country because most people...
Donald Trump won the popular vote and the Electoral College, by the way.
In this country aren't as...
You, gay retard, are talking to the person that lost both the popular vote and the Electoral College. I'm just trying to help.
Extreme is the folks who are, they're not MAGA, they're not extreme right. They believe that a woman should have a right to choose.
Bro, he thinks MAGA is extreme right. Oh, my poor little homosexual. You have no idea what is coming. We are taking away gay marriage. It's happening.
But that's not actually what we're living under right now. They believe that there should be a separation of church and state where you can worship whatever God you want, or you don't have to at all. And it seems like we're moving into, because of this minority, into Christian nationalism, and into, having the majority of Americans' freedoms diminished or restricted. Because
your freedoms will be diminished. You can only marry women now. Sorry. That's how it happens. That's what's going to happen. Well, that's life, I guess. What can we do?
We're being governed by the minority.
Cry about it, actually. I think you should cry about it. For all of human history, every single, even remotely successful nation was governed by the minority. The idea of every retard having an opinion is insane. And everyone knows that, but they realize that retards are so much easier to manipulate. So all they need to do is manipulate 1 million retards, buy them off, import them, whatever you could do, remove the Electoral College, stack the Supreme Court, and steal the country. That's the left's goal. It's always been the left's goal. They are power-hungry, bloodthirsty monsters.
Yes, and I think that there is some real shaking up that we have to do of the rules and the structure.
Time to shake up the rules to make sure that we have infinite leftist gay sex happening at all times. That is the goal. Infinite gay.
And
is that get rid of the Electoral College?
I think that should be a discussion that we should have.
Wow.
I don't think we should eliminate that.
Yeah, interesting. So basically, they're trying to rig elections. They're saying it straight up, but they're trying to do it legally, right? Do you understand? Do you understand how the left operates? They'll call you a Nazi and a fascist, and they will literally try to remove our democratic republic. Thanks, leftoids. Very cool. Now, the biggest story that none of the actual mainstream media is talking about, so thank God we have the internet, people like me and other retards that are actually willing to put our necks on the chopping block and talk about this. Tulsi Gabbard is done. She's leaving the Department of National Intelligence, and that's because her husband has cancer. And honestly, we're praying for him and his recovery. We're wishing him the best. But she decided on the last day to drop a 5-minute long nuke, releasing all sorts of private information. I didn't see this yet, but apparently it's insane. This got 350,000 likes and 37.7 million views. All right, just understand, Elon Musk retweeted it. All right, everyone's on top of it.
Before the COVID pandemic, Dr. Fauci, as head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, provided millions in U.S. taxpayer dollars to fund dangerous gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses at the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
You mean to tell me that the thing that everyone was getting banned on every social media platform for because they were called conspiracy theories, they were actually all right? What? Well, my God, put another dollar into the into the conspiracy theorists were right again jar. Oh boy.
Work which is now widely viewed as the source of the unintentional lab leak that sparked the pandemic.
Interesting. So it was all fraud. This is crazy, by the way. This is absolute insanity. The fact COVID was fake. It was manufactured by retarded globalist retards. And let me remind you, Jeffrey Epstein talking about doing pandemic simulations and quarantine practicing. Let me just remind you that he also funded leftists.
Now, in support of President Trump's maximum transparency mandate, today, on my final day as Director of National Intelligence, I'm releasing never-before-seen communications and documents that expose exactly how Fauci worked with politicized career leadership in the intelligence community to suppress the truth about his actions, the virus's lab leak origins, and his role in directing U.S.
Bro is getting prosecuted. It's happening. And then can we execute him, please? That'd be awesome. Yeah, I'm not calling for violence. I'm calling for, like, government-sanctioned legal execution. I think that'd be sick.
Funding for this dangerous research that caused immeasurable harm and countless lost lives. Now, these documents expose Fauci's direct role in influencing and manipulating IC assessments on COVID-19 and how Fauci lied to Congress in 2024 when under oath, he denied knowledge of or participation in discussions with intelligence officials about viral research. We also received testimony from multiple intelligence community whistleblowers who reported retaliation for challenging the intelligence community's manipulation of intelligence on the virus's origins. Once again, revealing a clear pattern of suppressing dissent, silencing critics, and burying the truth.
Interesting.
Dr. Fauci's close relationships with the intelligence.
I feel like it's important to note, I am one of those critics that was silenced. I got a strike on my channel, a video removed for talking about how COVID was a scam. And back in the day, basically I was warned by YouTube that if I would make more COVID videos, they would deplatform me completely. I'm just letting you know I am one of those. I'm one of those.
Community enabled him to assume 3 key roles that shield him from scrutiny. First, Dr. Fauci funded dangerous gain-of-function coronavirus research linked to Big Pharma and their pursuit of universal vaccines worth trillions of dollars. Second, Dr. Fauci was the behind-the-scenes advisor who, alongside his hand-picked so-called experts, pushed the intelligence community to endorse a natural animal origin to hide his dangerous gain-of-function research that he funded.
So she has evidence not only that they started it, but evidence that they lied about it and covered it up.
Using taxpayer dollars, all of this in a deliberate attempt to cover up the truth and shift the blame and attention away from Fauci's own actions.
Damn, bro.
Third, Dr. Fauci became the nation's pandemic pundit, and he publicly pushed lies, disinformation, and censorship using every platform available. Now, according to hundreds of reviewed emails, which are included in this release, the intelligence community almost always incorporated Fauci's recommendations. He promoted a fraudulent paper whose publication he helped prompt as legitimate information for intelligence community consideration. Senior analysts praised Dr. Fauci not as a policymaker, but as what they called an unbiased guide to the real coronavirus experts, while deliberately ignoring experts who might dissent from Fauci's narratives. Now, Fauci didn't stop there. He blatantly lied to Congress under oath during his 2024 testimony to the House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic, denying.
At the very least, can you put him in jail for lying under oath? At the very least. At the very least.
That he ever spoke to any intelligence agency about COVID.
Bro, we have open and shut evidence that that's not true now. Oh my God. And you know what? Leftists are still going to be like, no, actually, COVID was totally not manufactured. It was totally not lied about. It was totally honest. All right. You fell for the biggest fucking psyop of our lifetime. All right. And you fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. And you fucked our world. All right. You are why inflation is so shit right now. All right. And we're just supposed to make believe that that's not a thing.
Now, the correspondence I'm releasing today directly contradicts his sworn testimony. Now, we received statements from multiple whistleblowers revealing that the intelligence analysts who dared to challenge Dr. Fauci's COVID origin conclusions faced threats of retaliation, marginalization, and many suffered career setbacks. For example, a contractor was terminated just days after coming forward to ODNI as a whistleblower. Another example, those who advocated for the lab leak hypothesis or expressed dissenting views were reminded by their managers that leadership would determine which analysts would be promoted and which would not.
God.
The message was clear: go along or be punished. Now, senior leaders also sought to undermine whistleblowers by removing anonymity, which is required in the whistleblower process, as they made their complaints, and also insisting that their managers or attorneys be present during ODNI meetings where these whistleblowers were coming forward with their testimony, obviously creating an atmosphere of intimidation. The COVID pandemic caused tremendous hardship and pain for millions of our fellow Americans and countless people around the world.
Yep, that shit sucks.
Now, after years of lies and censorship and cover-ups, the American people deserve transparency, truth, and accountability. The tactics that were used to hide the truth are straight from the deep state playbook. Politicized self-serving leaders like Dr. Fauci covered up their own wrongdoing and abuses of power, manipulated intelligence, lied to Congress, and undermined a duly elected president by restricting his access to the vital facts he needed to keep the country safe. It's time you know the truth.
Oh, shit. Dude, what a fucking nuke. And it's like, it's insane. I feel like every week we get a nuclear lore drop like this. And the left just keeps chugging along. It's totalitarian, retarded machine. You know, they're new Obama library that looks like fucking retard land. That's right. But didn't you want America to look like the third world?
Well, anyway, the Obama Center ceremony begins with a stolen land acknowledgement.
Bro, this shit sucks. This shit
oh my God,
absolutely
let me
sucks.
see this.
We'd also like to take a moment to recognize the original inhabitants of the land upon which we are gathered today.
So give it back. So give it back. I'm tired of all this talking and this not doing. Give it back. Just give the land back.
We honor the Anishinaabe, the Council of Three Fires, the Ojibwe, the
I'd respect them more. I'd respect them more if they'd be like, we wanted to dunk on the losers that we took their land from, those betas with their fucking primitive ass shit. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, that would be very rude and distasteful.
Ottawa and the Potawatomi Nations.
I don't even know what to say. As a Cherokee Indian, half of it, the stolen land shit's so obnoxious. It's like pandering. Remember what happened to your ancestors?
Bro, the Native Americans stole land from each other. All land is stolen from someone. This shit's insane. This is absolute insanity. It's such a joke. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's actually like, do you really need to remind them that they lost all their shit every fucking time that you're gonna build a building? This is in memory of whenever you guys got your ass beat. Here's the new Walmart. Hillary Clinton cracks up after Michelle Obama. What is this here?
You were doing the people's work, rescuing our economy, expanding healthcare, ending a war, ordering the bin Laden raid, winning a peace prize. Keeping us safe.
The cackling. Oh. They all know that they fucking suck as people.
The cackling. You can hear it. It's so loud. Can you imagine that? She's nuts, dude. Bizarre moment as Biden is left on stage at the Obama Center asking for his granddaughter.
This guy. This guy. This guy.
My granddaughter.
God. Contractors fight for payment.
I was excited because of the fact of who Obama is and him. And
I was very excited to design a building that looked like the fucking Squidward's house from Bikini Bottom. I thought it looked very African.
Wife, and they come from Chicago.
There are at least 10 small contractors who are threatened financially because they so far have not been paid or have not been paid the full amount for the work they have done on this project. Once this building is built and open to the public, they say they don't want to be forgotten about.
I'm sure they're going to get paid, guys. I'm sure they're going to get paid for sure. This is the vision. This is why it looks the way it does.
There's been some debate among Chicagoans about the shape of the building.
The color of the granite that's on, it reads gray, big building, it's husky, tall, and I think that takes some getting used to.
It needs to stand out.
They all fucking hate it because it looks like it came out of fucking Zululand.
To be iconic. The form comes from, if you imagine, if people were to take four hands and put them together, you sort of have the bend of your hand makes the bend of the tower shape.
Yeah, that's cope. That's cope as fuck. It looks like Squidward's house from Bikini Bottom.
The architects, Todd Williams and Billy Chin, worked to make the president's dream come to life.
There were even times where he would send a little sketch with something for us to look at.
Now, this building stands as a reminder.
Bro, that shit sucks, dude. Oh my God. Could you imagine needing to be reminded of Obama every day when you see this ugly ass fucking shit every single time? Bro, you're going to tell me it doesn't look like Bikini Bottoms? Like, bro, it looks like this. It looks like that. Bro, seriously. It looks worse. It looks worse than Squidward's house. At least Squidward's house has a personality. Brother, this sucks, dude. Oh my God.
Of Chicago's very own first.
This looks fucking retarded. The fuck is this? You know what this looks like? It's like one of these, bro. Really, like it's like a fucking Star Fox building. That's why they have it that way. Is he really wanted it that way? I don't know why. Looks like shit, but you know, I guess that's the way it goes.
They wanted to remind him of Africa. Listen, man, he was like, yes, I want to be reminded of Africa. So we're going to take the ugliest fucking building of all time and we're going to just plop it in the middle of the city because leftism is cancer. Now, there's a study that just recently came out titled The Effect of Reverse Racism. A U.S. situational study found that police officers took 1.09 seconds to shoot an armed, aggressive white suspect versus 1.32 seconds to shoot a similar black suspect. They didn't want to be called racist, and it took them an extra 0.1 seconds to shoot the N-word. Obviously, I'm not using that as a reference to all black people, specifically the ones that look like this. I just want to make that very clear, obviously. Listen, I would never say something different like that on YouTube. Never forget the tale of Chad Thundercock going back in time 10 milliseconds to justifiably shoot a black guy. Never, ever forget. Now, speaking of black people, great segue, we have to talk about the Carmelo Anthony situation because I think this is the last time we're probably going to be talking about it, unless something crazy happens in the future. Hoping that's not the case. But we actually got the evidence, all right? You know, all the black activists have been screaming and crying, he's just a baby! Right, he's the guy who stabbed Austin Metcalf, a white guy, just stabbed him in the heart and killed him because he wanted to, because killing white people is basically the defining moment of a lot of growing black activists. This is a photo of the evidence in the Austin Metcalf murder. Never forget what Carmelo Anthony did. He stabbed an innocent guy in the heart for no reason, because he's a savage barbarian. In my opinion, he should be put to death, obviously. But he was only given 35 years. A horrible miscarriage of justice. They should have put him away forever. Instantly. Instantly forever, if you know what I'm saying. And of course, obviously, this was not a surprise to anyone. Now there are these Austin Metcalf dances where you get young black kids on TikTok doing the Austin Metcalf dance where they make believe they're stabbing white people in the heart. Isn't that hilarious? It's almost like they want to just legalize killing white people or something. Now, every time I say that, people get upset at me, but we got the footage. All right, breaking footage of Carmelo reaching into his bag, pulling out a knife, walking under the tent, then running away after stabbing Metcalf, completely undermining claims that he acted in self-defense. Right, this is massive. As you can see, you look at the tent, right over here, right over there. There we go. We're walking in. Everything's nice. Nothing seems to be going on. And away. And goodbye. Bye. Bye. Self-defense. Self-defense, guys. It was just self-defense. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Now, we actually got the body cam footage leaked as well.
Hold on. And I'm just protecting myself. If somebody is treating the victim, they need to be over there.
Under a memorial tent.
Don't reach for anything, all right, man? Stop right there for me. Dispatch 443. I got the suspects, and they're currently treating the victim.
The murderer. This is the murderer, Carmelo Anthony, the guy that needs to be executed.
Again, he's on the north end of the stadium. All right. Any weapons on you like that? I'll go up here.
Remember, I just need to remind you, the entire black activist community, including leaders like Stephen A. Smith and Jasmine Crockett, all came out to say that he's just a baby. We're being so harsh. We're not being sensitive enough. Never forget that a lot of these people just want you dead.
4-4, copy, I'll be en route.
Damn, bro.
Y'all back up a little bit. Come over here for me. Come over here. I'm going to put your handcuffs for now, okay, bud?
All right, put him in handcuffs. But Jasmine Crockett said he just wanted to get out of the rain. Just wanted to get out of the rain, guys.
443. Everybody can slow down.
Who stabbed a guy in the heart.
I got the alleged suspect in handcuffs right now, detained.
Everyone else can slow down. Suspects detained in handcuffs.
Hold on. You can open up the channel, and medics are clear to come in.
It was him, by the way.
East
suspect.
Entrance. That's going to be a gate that's wide open.
I love how he knows to face away from the body cam. It's almost like he was brought up being like, just don't face the body cam. It's almost like that. That's basically the upbringing in certain cultures.
And then you come to the victim from there.
Bro.
This is the alleged suspect.
Alleged suspect.
Huh? Okay. We'll figure that out. So nothing on your person at all? Nothing? No, sir. Mind if I reach in your pockets and stuff and all that? Nothing gonna stab me? No, sir. Okay.
I'm going to be out with this.
I'm a little personal there, okay? Just to make sure.
Yeah. You should make sure. He murdered a guy. He is a murderer. Fucking savage.
All right. The victim's going to be underneath that tent over there, so I'll get medics.
He died instantly. Medics didn't help.
Memorial tent over there, guys. All right.
Where's the sympathy? Oh, you're being mean.
He put his hands
Oh, crying like a bitch. Like a bitch. Oh no, getting arrested. The consequences of murdering an innocent guy. But he was white. I want that to be legal. Ah.
Research them, you got nothing on it.
423. Checkers everything about CPR progress for a witness. Racing. You sure that's the wrong thing? Racing.
And zero remorse or anything. Fucking monster.
It's up to you. It's up to you.
Actually, you're racist
one more little check of you, okay? You don't mind for reaching your pockets.
Actually, you're racist because you want a black guy to go to jail for killing a white?
Yeah, you good?
I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. He's just a baby.
No, ma'am, I don't think so.
What's your name, man?
Carmelo Anthony, K-A-R-M-E-L-O.
Show me out.
Okay.
Racing.
Have a seat here real quick, man. Watch your head. Let me check your hood here, buddy, okay?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what, lean this way so you're not resting on your hands, okay? Yes, sir. All right, see a little bit of blood on your hands there, okay? Yes, all right.
402, I'm on scene.
Yeah, that'll be because he stabbed the guy in the heart.
Your first name is Carmelo?
Yes, sir. K-A-R-M-E-L-O.
Let's see, hold on one second.
Is he gonna be okay?
I don't know yet, man. Carmelo, C-A-R-A.
K-A-R.
K-A-R.
M-E-L-O.
M-E-L-O. Carmelo, what's your last name?
Anthony.
Crazy how he has like zero remorse.
Hey.
He just murdered a guy. Or he just murdered a guy. And he has no remorse. He's just, let's get through the process. Let's get through the process. We'll set up the GoFundMe.
N-T-H-O-N-Y. We're ready, you win.
I'm in 10th grade.
10th grade? You go to Emerson?
No, sir.
Where do you go? Centennial. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you weren't even supposed to be under that tent at all? Interesting.
I'm in
Yeah, wow.
12th grade?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no Centennial. All right, sit tight for me real quick, bud, all right?
Damn. And now he's getting raped in jail. Man, they grow up so fast.
I haven't talked to him at all.
They grow up so fast. Now, they released one of the 911 calls also at the time. Remember, this is the guy that the black activist community is making a savior. All right, that's why you have to understand that actually there are just a lot of people that just want to kill white people. They want to make it legal to kill whites, actually. That's just actually the goal. The moment you realize that, all right, and the moment you realize that there are some people in certain communities that are tribalistic savages and just want you dead, it will make your life better. You will start to unlock nirvana, start to see through the matrix. Instead of just having this infinite brainwashing, hypnotizing, retarded ideology that actually all cultures are the same. Actually, all racism and discrimination is completely unwarranted because all cultures are equal. Yeah, well, you're going to start to realize that's not the case when you actually start opening your eyes and embracing reality.
Frisco 911, what is the location of the emergency?
Hi, we're at Kuykendall Stadium. My friend just got stabbed.
Okay, do you know who stabbed him?
We have no clue. He was sitting in our tent, but you need to send an ambulance right now.
They're on the way, okay? Give me a description of the person that stabbed him.
He was wearing a gray Essentials hoodie. He was black. He's standing out on the track right now.
He's standing on the track?
Yeah.
Okay.
His blue sweatpants on and John.
Okay, and what did he stab your friend with?
I don't know. My friend's bleeding everywhere.
Okay.
And he died.
Where was he stabbed at?
The chest.
Okay.
Bro, it's heartbreaking.
And do you still see the person that stabbed him, or did he leave?
It was Austin. Austin got stabbed in the chest. I'm sorry, what did you say?
The person that stabbed him, is he still there? Do you still see him?
There's adults on him, I think. Yeah.
There's adults that are trying to keep him there?
Know who he is. Sorry, what?
The person that stabbed your friend, is he still there?
Yeah, he's still here.
Okay, and
he's with the coach.
There's a coach with him?
Yes, he's with. People got him.
Okay. Do you know if he still has the weapon on him?
No clue, but he's like he can't do nothing. He's done.
What do you mean?
He stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest. What?
What do you mean he can't do anything? What's going on with him?
Coaches have him. He can't hurt anyone.
Okay, when you say they have him, are they physically holding him down?
No, they're just holding him walking around.
Okay.
Okay. He was under our team. Austin tried to make a move.
Horrible.
What's your name?
It's horrible.
What's your last name?
Yes, ma'am.
What's your last name? And do you see any of the responders there yet?
We hear the sirens, but
Okay.
the coach just sent us out. We're all walking to our buses.
Okay, so you're going to get on a bus right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the rest of the students are walking towards the buses?
Yeah, everyone's being evacuated out the stadium.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being quick.
Okay. Just follow whatever directions you're being provided by.
Yeah, anyway, it's just horrible. It's like everyone knew immediately exactly what happened, yet for some reason, all of a sudden, the Blacktivist community decided to raise $500,000 for this guy's family. All right, it was really not controversial at all. It was obvious, actually, that this is exactly what happened. Duh. All right, in fact, here we have retard McGee saying, it wasn't really a deadly weapon.
Was it a switch? I don't know what he had. It was like it seemed like it was a multi-tool, almost like a Swiss Army.
Like with like with the little scissors and everything and whatever. So it was small. Well, I would have argued the size of it alone, you wouldn't even think it's a deadly weapon.
Oh, really?
And that's why
It murdered a guy, but you wouldn't think so?
If it was one of the little, like I don't know. Like I do think
well, that's why he went to his coach and was like, but I don't think I hurt him that bad.
Oh, maybe he said that to not get in trouble because he murdered a guy with this knife. All right, just to understand, it was this knife. All right, not really a dangerous weapon. It was a multi-tool of some kind. All right, now, of course, again, the Blacktivist community losing their mind, being like, oh, look at this. But as you can see, he stabbed him, and then he ran away. As you can see, he's running away over here. So, looks like he immediately ran for his life. This is self-defense. Fucking retard monkeys don't understand what self-defense is. And again, I'm not using monkeys disparagingly towards black people as a whole, but anyone that thinks you should be able to stab an innocent guy in the heart and just to call it self-defense because racism or something, that's a primate. That is primate behavior. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, this is insane. He actually ran away because he just murdered a person. That is why he ran away. All right, now Asmongold reacted to this also.
This is the body cam footage of Carmelo Anthony, which is like really crazy. At 2:15, you hear Carmelo crying like a baby. He put his hands on me. I didn't do nothing. He put his hands on me. Okay, let's watch it.
If somebody is treating the victim, they need to be
So this is the...
Don't reach for anything, all right, man? Stop right there for me. Dispatch 443. I got the suspects.
Oh, there he is.
They're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium.
It's not raining anymore? Well, clearly wasn't either. That's why his shirt's barely wet.
You can open up the channel.
Uh-oh.
That's going to be a gate that's wide open there. And then you come to the victim from there.
Holy shit.
Memorial tent over there, guys. All right.
He put his hands on me.
Put his hands on me.
I didn't do nothing.
He
I
crying?
didn't do nothing.
I told him not to,
Didn't do
and then I
nothing.
stabbed him. So this is the footage of it happening right here. I'm waiting to see it. What the fuck? So we just ran away? What the fuck? And then people are like, hey man, where are you going? Didn't you just stab somebody? What happened? A soft push and then a stab happened at the 1 minute mark. Okay, let's see if I can find it.
Man. I see
And then
it.
he just immediately stabbed him and
Wow,
oh my
that's
god.
That's not self-defense, bro.
You can't just stab somebody who pushes you?
Yeah, you're actually it's still illegal to kill white people. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that because, you know, basically you want to see this happening as often as you can if you're a leftist, but it's actually still illegal to kill whites, actually. I know this is very disappointing to some.
Is like this guy just stabbed somebody because he went into their tent, he wouldn't leave. I'm not alleged, I did it. Wait, what does he say?
This is the alleged suspect. Okay.
Wow. I'm not alleged. You still have these retards defending him. It's almost like they want to kill white people. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. It's just no one else is covering this correctly. Everyone's wrong. Everyone's covering this wrongly. All right, the correct explanation for what's going on here is there actually is just a large contingency of people that want whites to die. Yeah, it's actually that simple. I know a lot of people are trying to make it more complicated than that. It's really not more complicated.
I did it. Pretty, yeah. All right. Well, actual knife used to murder Austin Metcalf. Okay, this is just a pretty simple, like, yeah. She said it wasn't a deadly weapon.
Wait a minute, was it a switch? I don't know what he had.
It was like it seemed like it was a multi-tool, almost like a Swiss Army.
Like with the like with the
like
scissors and everything and whatever. So it was small.
Well, it was small.
I would argue the
It was
size of it alone,
small.
you wouldn't even think it's a deadly weapon.
Well, it sure seems like it is if it killed him, right?
If it was one of the little
man.
Wait a minute, it was
And again, why are they defending him? Because they are black and he is black.
There it is. And it's really not more complicated than that.
I think is really stupid. The majority of people that are victims of, you know, people that get killed by black people are other black people. So why are you trying to run defense for somebody who could have stabbed you too? So I don't even know why they're defending this shit. It's so stupid.
It's because he killed a white guy and they like that actually.
I guess I'm missing the part 4 where 4 white boys were giving Carmelo a beatdown. Again, everybody knew that isn't what happened, right? I mean, obviously that's not what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, 70 billions, advocate for the Anthony family. You can clearly see Carmelo Anthony being attacked under the canopy. This is why we'll keep fighting until he's free. Why are you dwelling on a story? This is America. Fools are dropping every day. The reason why I'm dwelling on the story is it highlights a massive double standard and an inconsistency inside of primarily the African-American community, where they enable and try to draw excuses for bad actors and criminals because of some perceived solidarity because of skin color.
Yeah, sometimes the situation is actually just black and white. Actually, it's just a really black and white, simple situation here. Here you got some tribal bullshit, retards, and they think that actually killing white people should be legal because, well, slavery or something.
This guy could have stabbed you. So that's the big problem that I have, is that whenever you have a demographic in the country that is exhibiting own group preference by such an extreme degree, despite all pieces of evidence, data, and information completely indicating the opposite, I think you've got a really big problem. I think you've got a huge problem.
Duh. And, again, a lot of people just want to be liars about it and not be honest. And frankly, I think it's a major issue everywhere. It's why a lot of people are going to be racist against black people. I mean, dude, I saw this. I almost lost my shit. Stephen A. Smith speaks on the Carmelo Anthony case. Thumbnail: self-defense is not a crime. Right now, obviously, it's a 37-minute video of him going back and forth saying killing is bad, but at the same time, can we have some sensitivity for Carmelo Anthony? All right, and again, why is this the case all the time? Why is this happening literally everywhere? It's almost like there happens to be a large contingency of people that really want it to be legal to murder white people. And they're going to try to use every loophole and every leapfrog retarded argument on the planet to try to make it seem like it's something other than that. Actually, it was self-defense. He was scared for his life. Systemic racism. He knew it was going to happen. Actually, he was just being over brutal on this guy. No black people in the jury. And everything that you want to come up with is retarded. The reason why you have so many people tribalistically defending this fucking savage is because they really want it to be legal to kill white people. And they want it to happen more. I even love the description of Stephen A. Smith's video. Stephen A. Smith tackles one of the most controversial stories in America. It's not a controversial story at all, actually. This is a murderer, and he needs to get executed for murder. And a lot of retards are way too soft. Now, in England, they have a very interesting solution to problems, I've noticed. They are doing their absolute best to make believe that the gigantic grooming gang report that just came out, showing that 250,000 British children were R-worded by M-words, they're going to release propaganda films to stop all forms of SA from taking place in England. Let me know if you notice anything funny about this ad.
What? What?
Nothing.
I can stand it.
Yes.
I can stand there if I like.
Oh my gosh.
Just take a photograph of me.
Oh my gosh. Is that a white rapist harassing a brown girl and then another brown girl wants to help the other brown girl from the white rapist? Uh-oh.
Hi. Did you just photograph me? What? That's assault. Photographing me without my permission, yeah, it's assault. you understand that? Give it here. Your phone, give it to
And
me.
all the terrified women that do nothing
Give me
before
your
the evil white rapist.
phone. Eyebrows. I'm deleting it. I'm deleting your assault. Do you understand? Yeah? See, you invaded my personal space, right? And I'm deleting your assault. Okay.
Yeah, very, very realistic. This is, by the way, instead of actually covering the grooming gang scandal, they decided to release stuff like this.
What?
You get the idea. Absolutely painful, actually. You know, Muslims rape a generation of white women, and then they release a propaganda film about how rape is bad nebulously and show a white rapist harassing brown girls. Isn't that incredible? I think it's just incredible. It really is. Now, breaking, obviously, Keir Starmer is now considering resigning after cabinet ministers called for him to step down. Oh my, that's crazy. That's insane. I wonder if something like that will take place. Well, I hope you're ready. Buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gent. Breaking, Keir Starmer has agreed to resign. Timetable will be published on Monday. There is no coming back from this. As you can see, massive crowds of British patriots flooded the streets of Birmingham to call for remigration. Britain's second largest city, over 340,000 Muslims live there, and they want them all gone, actually. That's crazy. Maybe it was the rape of a generation of children that really just tipped them over the edge. Like, this is the one stop before civil war, all right? It starts off with protesting, very loud protesting, mass protesting. If nothing happens, well, things are going to get violent. And they did. So the BBC finally interviewed Rupert Lowe. They did not ask him about the rape gang inquiry, obviously, and then they immediately cut him off.
And Tommy Robinson, I've given him credit for what he did on the grooming gangs, and I don't know whether you've read our grooming gang report, but he was very early out of the traps on identifying this pervasive evil, which I'm sad to say the BBC have not covered at all. And we issued this huge report, which was crowdfunded by 20,000 people on Tuesday. I'm not aware that you've covered it at all as a national monopoly, which is supposed to cover everything that is of relevant.
Isn't it weird how the BBC, which by the way broadcasts unfiltered Hamas propaganda, right? Isn't it weird that they don't want to talk about Muslims raping 250,000 white British children? Isn't it weird they don't want to talk about that?
Interest of the British people,
Oh,
and I think that's quite extraordinary. And Tommy,
in fact, I think it's very telling. I'm actually kind of happy they didn't report it. If they would have reported it, just made like a small deal of it or something, like, you know, you can make the argument that they talked about it. But I love the fact that they didn't. Listen, I am something of a jester in this regard. The machinations of Siege are unfurling at a glorious rate. You see, I am thrilled that the BBC is trying to cover up and put a lid on a story that has gotten way too big for them to silence. Because it just makes it so much more obvious that everything he said was true, and the BBC has been covering it up for years. Right? The craziest thing is, they are truly fucked. They are absolutely and abysmally fucked. Right, I don't think people realize the BBC is getting BBC'd as we speak. It's over. Henry Novak's killer was left cowering in cell after facing threats from other inmates. He shouldn't be alive. They should have executed this motherfucker. But the news is like, oh, you have to feel bad for the poor Sikh terrorist that stabbed a guy 5 times and murdered him. Oh, poor guy, he's getting harassed in jail. Oh, poor baby. No, fuck that shit. Now, this is insane. Now, British patriots are really, really tired. Of course, you got the worst people on the planet screaming about Islamophobia as Muslims rape their way through Europe. And interestingly enough, you would notice this actually is not exclusive to Europe. All right, this was just a story from yesterday. A Muslim raped a teenager in Nashville, Tennessee. Nothing to see here, folks.
Breaking news alert. Authorities just arrested a man accused of raping a girl at her apartment in South Nashville. Alicia Wimberly is at the WKRN.com alert desk with more. Alicia.
That's right, Tori. Police arrested Mena Awad this afternoon at a hotel in Louisville, Kentucky. Awad is accused of sexually assaulting a
Mena Awad, a straightway Christian, if I've ever seen one.
16-year-old girl on New Year's Eve while she slept in her Millwood Drive apartment. Police say he entered the victim's unlocked apartment with a gun and a knife. Louisville police arrested him this.
Very nice. Nothing to see here. It happens everywhere, but nothing to see here. And you know that every cover-up that happens in England, the same shit is happening in Sweden and in France and in America. All right, it's just being covered up. It's being pushed under the rug. I can't believe a culture would do such a thing. I can't believe it's like almost always where the Islamists go. This fall, it's so weird. Anyway, completely unrelated, this is a 32-year-old man named Abdul marrying an 11-year-old girl named Priya who is already pregnant. This is a wedding that happened yesterday, right? So do not pay attention to the fact that it's almost like this culture is kind of fucked up, right? Because all cultures are equal. No cultures are bad. What do you mean? And the people are tired. So Rupert Lowe actually posted this, based, by the way, American Patriot Asmongold read our entire rape gang inquiry report to his millions of subscribers over 7 hours. He has already done more than the entire British media establishment. An incredible effort. Patriot Asmongold, based as fuck. All right, again, I have said it before and I'll say it again. It literally is the civilians that are rising up that are saving the civilization. But you cannot trust the media. You cannot trust the politicians. You cannot trust the retard oligarch class. You have to trust yourself, your neighbors. You have to get married. You have to have children. You have to build a family, have faith in God, and fight for what's right. And you are saving your country. All right, it's not going to come from the retards getting rich off of the betrayal of your nation. It's not going to come from the subversive, satanic pedophile cults that are running the West. I'm sorry, that's not where help is going to come. Well, this is a massive story that's just taken place, so we're going to talk about it. A 36-year-old white Scottish man is being investigated by counterterrorism police after 5 people were stabbed in Edinburgh. He said after his arrest, "I'm protecting this country from these fucking Muslim bastards raping our young daughters."
Protecting the country from these fucking miserable bastards raping our young daughters, raping our kids. Enough is enough. I have had enough.
So he allegedly stabbed 5 people. I don't think he has, mate. Now, I'm not going to sit here and endorse it, obviously. I don't endorse doing this shit. But this is the natural endpoint to what happens when your country gets sold out by billionaires to third world rapists. If voting is not going to get yourself out of this situation, then this action is just going to get repeated again and again and again. How much do you expect these people to take? How many times do you expect their daughters to get groomed and raped until they actually do something about it? What, so they could vote for the left wing that imports more Muslims or the right wing that imports more Muslims? Really? Is that the goal forever? Just infinitely cope and think you're going to vote your way out of a situation where even the right wing candidate is making alliances with Islamic groups? I'm not talking about Rupert Lowe, the guy they're calling far right. I'm talking about Nigel Farage, the guy that's the moderate right wing. He also is making alliances with Muslim voting blocs. And he also wants to import more people, even though he claims the other way around. He literally doesn't want anything to change. So they claim he stabbed 5 people. I don't think he has, mate. Obviously, the coverage of this has been incredible. What an idiot. Stabbing people in the UK gets you jail time. I understand. He was upset. He could have avoided this by just raping them instead. I mean, it's very brave of you. This is obviously a British patriot, but the truth of the matter is, you can't rape brown people in England. You can only rape white children. That is the only legal rape in England. I hope you're aware. Now, Mehdi Hassan, who has been silent on the rape gangs, has finally decided to bring it up. In the same week that Rupert Lowe put out his bullshit rape gang report, falsely claiming Muslims raped 250,000 white girls, in the same week Elon Musk amplified it on here. This happened. Is anyone surprised? So he's blaming someone saying raping white children is bad for this guy stabbing Muslims, which, again, I don't think he has, made. They're inciting violence against Muslims and emboldening extremists. Yes. This is literally the Muslim strategy every single fucking time. All right? Do atrocities, cry victim. Man, I can't believe 9/11 is causing all this Islamophobia. My auntie is scared to wear a hijab in the subway after 9/11. Oh, poor Muslims, the real victims of 9/11. Oh, the poor Hamas terrorists getting blown into smithereens in Gaza after they decided to invade Israel and murder and rape 1,300 Jews and take hostages. That, by the way, the war ended right after the hostages were released. It's a pretenticide, I tell you. It's a pretenticide. They're killing terrorists. Please. Yeah, so Muslim migrants gang raped 250,000 white women in the UK, but actually what I'm really worried about is the backlash against peaceful Muslims. Go fuck yourself. Dude, no one's buying the slop anymore. It's insane. So again, the Muslims come out of the woodwork, of course, because this is the strategy that they've been employing for the last 1,000 years. Oh, you know the reason why Muslims need to immigrate in gigantic numbers to Europe? Well, it's because Europe killed terrorists in the Middle East. So therefore now also they have to open their borders to pedophiles. That's just how it works. Don't you know? Don't you know that they're the victims of all the things? Don't you know? Now, interestingly enough, you know who reposted this? Zach Polanski, the Green Party in England. Now, the Green Party is the Communist Islamist Alliance. It's the far left party. Retweeted, basically saying it's a bullshit rape gang report. Yep, Muslims are the violence of calling Muslims out for raping their way through 250,000 British girls. I hope you understand the demented evil that we're dealing with here. All right. Of course, Keir Starmer immediately responds, absolutely appalling. No one should ever face violence on our streets. The suspect appears to be motivated by anti-Muslim hatred. I love how this dude did not mention the rape gangs. 250,000 girls motivated by anti-white hatred, I guess. Nope, not going to talk about that. Not going to address the beheading in Belfast or the stabbing of Henry Novak until this became such gigantic national stories that everyone was talking about it. I will not tolerate this. He will face the full force of the law. My thoughts are those who are injured. I thank police and the emergency services for their response. Well, personally, I don't think he necessarily had any anti-Muslim hatred. I just don't think he has, mate. I just don't think so. Anyway, can we please not politicize this strategy? Again, this is the strategy that they've employed every single time. Muslim beheads a guy in Belfast. I would like to not politicize this tragedy in any possible way. Henry Novak murdered. I would like to not politicize this tragedy in any possible way. Dude pops off after 250,000 British girls are raped. We must politicize this tragedy. Anti-Muslim hatred must has gone too far. Please, we all stop this. Right now, Humza Yusuf, Muslim, says, hey, Rupert Lowe, you blew the dog whistle this week and people have reacted exactly the way you wanted to. Wow. Over 4 million Muslims in the UK. Damn. You got to get moving, guys. You got to figure this shit out. And you have made every single one of us a target. You should be ashamed of yourself. This is literally absolute retardation. It's like, how dare you call out 1 million Muslim rapists? Because now all Muslims are scared. This is fucking retarded. It's actually insane. How dare you tell the truth, because the truth might get other people to get really angry at pedophiles or something. What am I even supposed to say? Humza is blaming Rupert Lowe for giving rape gang survivors a voice, rather than harrowing crimes committed against him by his kin. Mahdi Hassan is doing the same thing, but he blocked me, so I can't point that out. Vile people, obviously. Shabana Mahmood, MP in the United Kingdom, for some reason. It's incredible that these people have places in the government or something. I'm horrified by the news of the attack in Edinburgh. I'm grateful by the police and the emergency services for their bravery in apprehending the suspect and their speech response and attending the victims. The suspect appears to be motivated by anti-Muslim hatred. Oh, you know? Oh, you know already? How do you know? There's no place for hatred in this country against Muslims. Interesting how you had nothing to say about the hatred in this country against white people. I don't know what could have possibly provoked such an attack. I can't believe it. It's crazy. All right, now spot the subtle difference in Shabana Mahmood's coverage of different things. Interesting. I'm deeply saddened to hear about the stabbings in Huntington. Now, these stabbings were when a Muslim stabbed white people. My thoughts go out to those affected. 2 suspects have been taken into custody. I'm receiving regular updates. I urge people to avoid comment and speculation at this early stage. What could possibly be the difference? Man. That 70 average Pakistani IQ is coming in hot off the press. Man, it's really interesting, isn't it? Wow. Now, Asmongold had a pretty spicy take about this, and a lot of people got really mad at him. All right, so let's see what the bald man, Asmongold, had to say. Let's see what Lord Voldemort has to say about all this.
Oh, that his bullshit rape gang report falsely claiming Muslims raped 250,000 white girls same week. Elon Musk, is anyone surprised? They're inciting violence against Muslims. And
yes, you're not allowed to arrest pedophiles because then all Muslims are going to get Islamophobia or something.
Emboldening extremists.
That's right.
If you think this is bad, this is nothing.
Oh, yeah. He's right.
This is nothing.
Oh,
this is
what's
not
coming
even
is
remotely
big.
bad. Oh my God. And another Hassan? Yeah, exactly. It's just crazy for me to see some
You
of this.
mean to tell me that there are 2 guys, both named Hassan, they're both Muslims, they're both left-wing, and they both support Islamic terrorism? This is a very funny coincidence.
Stuff, right? And let me see what the other ones here. Hassan, bigger apologist. Exactly. And he'll always, this is what he'll do, is he'll...
it's because he loves pedophiles. He loves when pedophiles rape white people, actually. That's what he does. He likes it. He likes it a lot. It's so interesting, you know. Jews get raped, Christians get raped, dead silence, none of them care, zero commentary. No one fucking cares that Hamas raped Jews. No one cares that the Pakistani grooming gangs raped white girls. None of that matters. None of it matters at all. We gotta talk about Islamophobia and how white people are, and how Trump sexually assaulted someone because of a faulty court case.
Will always try to immediately, this is a person who has immediately come to a conclusion. You've created an entire narrative, and you've done all of this in the span of 3 hours since this event happened. And now everybody else has to listen to this narrative. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? I don't want to hear about this. This person defends every terrorist in the world.
That's right.
And now he wants us to be worried.
That's right.
About something bad happening to people like him.
I don't think anything bad happened, mate. I don't know what happened. Did something happen? I don't think it has, mate.
That's it.
Maybe the guy that was stabbing them was a Muslim. I don't know. Motive's unclear, if you ask me. Now, Hassan, of course, calls Asmongold out because he's very mad that Asmongold is, I guess, that Asmongold says that Islamic terrorism is bad.
Asmongold openly defends anti-Muslim terrorist attack in the UK where 5 men got stabbed. This is nothing. This is not even remotely bad. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? I don't want to hear about this. Now Hassan wants to be worried about something bad happening to him.
This is why
he doubles down and explains why he doesn't care if Muslim people get stabbed in the UK. I have zero sympathy, and I don't give a fuck about some guy stabbing people because they let stuff like this happen.
I have zero sympathy, and I do not give a fuck about some guy stabbing people. It's because they let stuff like this happen on a day.
Who's they?
The British government.
Like, who is the they?
The British government.
It's letting stuff like this happen.
The British government that covers up infinite rape and stabbings by Muslims throughout England for the last 70 years. That's the they.
Happen.
Of course, he wouldn't know because he didn't cover the grooming gangs because it's Muslims raping white kids, so he therefore doesn't care.
You know what I mean? And this is a what, like a random black guy in Portugal? How is this in any way, shape, or form connected to the Islamophobic hate crime that took place in was it Edinburgh?
I don't think it has, mate. I don't think there was a
daily basis. They never police these people. They never hold these people accountable. And then they want us all to have empathy for 5 people that get stabbed. Meanwhile, this is happening on an industrial level all across Europe.
Yep.
And they refuse to even talk about it.
That's right. He's right. He's
Who's
right.
They? Like what?
They is the government. I love how he's just, I'm just going to make believe I don't understand words to therefore craft my narrative.
Crime? Are there people who are pro-crime? Is that
yes. You are pro-crime. You who support Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis and all these other fucking retard areas. All right, you support all these people. You make believe the grooming gang report is all fake so that you can cover up the rape of a generation of white women. All right, you are the people that are making believe that this is not happening and covering it up.
What it is there a big they out there that's
yes, literally the government
pro-crime where they're
Yes, the government that refuses to actually prosecute criminals. Keir Starmer, who sent out like what's the number, like 13,000 warning letters to pedophiles saying actually you can't pedophile around in our culture instead of actually arresting them. Yes, the gigantic government apparatus that basically imported the rapist, defended the rapists, and covered up the crimes so that the public didn't know what was happening. They allowed it to happen. Yes, that's the they.
Oh, we love crime. Let's have more of it, please.
Yes, that is what they do. Yeah.
Give an inch.
Correct.
Never give an inch.
Happening at an industrial level. To be clear, the terrorist already explained why he committed these attacks after he got arrested. I'm protecting my country from these fucking Muslim bastards raping our young daughters, is what he said. Yes.
Do you have a problem with people not wanting to get raped by Muslims or something? Anyway, it's interesting. Everyone has the same take. Now, Sneeko, isn't it funny how Sneeko and Hassan have exactly the same opinions now on all these things? Isn't it weird? You got a far right guy and a far left guy, and they have the same opinions. It's almost like they just literally have that same Islamic agenda. They love Islamic terrorism. They hate Western civilization. They want it to die. That's basically it. That's the overlap.
His bullshit rape gang report falsely claiming Muslims raped 250,000 white girls. Same week, Elon Musk, is anyone surprised? They're inciting violence against Muslims and emboldening extremists. If you think this is bad, this is nothing. This is nothing. This is not even remotely bad. Oh my God. And another.
It's not bad?
He's referring to it's not bad compared to what's coming.
A white Scottish man is investigated by counterterrorism.
But of course, Sneeko, 60 IQ, he can't figure that shit out.
After 5 people were stabbed. He doesn't think an attack, 5 stabbings is bad.
The Hassan, yeah, exactly. It's just crazy for me to see some of this stuff, right? And let me see what the other ones here. Hassan, bigger apologist, exactly. And he'll always, this is what he'll do, is he'll always try to he will immediately, this is a person who has immediately come to a conclusion. You've created an entire narrative, and you've done all of this in the span of 3 hours since this event happened. And now...
Did he do that when the Pakistani grooming gang report came out? He immediately said that the Epstein files is nothing compared to it.
He's right. The Epstein files is obviously horrible. I'm really sad for the dozen victims or whatever from Jeffrey Epstein. What a nightmare. Not even remotely close to the industrial rape of 250,000 white women in England alone, not even including the industrial exact same rape of white children throughout every single Western nation that imported gigantic numbers of Muslims. You know, it's because they rape a lot.
Also, he doesn't know that the 250,000, if you read the report, it's estimated. It's not even confirmed.
You're right. It's the low bar. The estimation is lowballing it. For those of you that actually understand how they extrapolated numbers, 250,000 is a lowball estimation.
There's no evidence supporting that it's 250,000.
No evidence, says Sneeko. Again, are we surprised? No evidence that the Holocaust happened. No evidence that there's rape of children in England. No evidence of literally anything, but there's a genocide in Palestine because Hamas started a war and lost, and 1% of the civilian population was killed. So that's a genocide.
Everybody else has to listen to this narrative. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? I don't want to hear about this.
Who cares about 5 innocent people getting stabbed? So do you care about innocent lives or no? I mean, or is it only one specific group?
I love how he's just going to sit here and try to morally grandstand. What, you think every single time someone gets stabbed, Asmongold is immediately there to cover the story? You know how many times people die everywhere around the world? What, he's supposed to dedicate his life now to defending these 5 guys that were stabbed allegedly? I don't think they have been, mate. But allegedly, these 5 guys that were stabbed in a country that's literally importing and defending rapists and doing their absolute best to make sure that more Muslims could keep raping more white women. You think that Asmongold is supposed to make this the center of his worldview? When he says this is nothing, he's right. This is nothing compared to what's happening. All right, because ultimately, either they're going to elect someone far right, as they call him, like Rupert Lowe, who's going to remigrate these people, and it will be violent as fuck. You think these people are just going to get on boats and leave? Nah, dude. These people are going to fight, and it's going to get bloody. Or option 2, they don't elect Rupert Lowe, or an election is stolen or something like that, and they fight, and it will be very bloody too. So when he says this is nothing compared to what is coming, and he's right.
Defends every terrorist in the world.
Yeah.
And now he wants us to be worried.
This is terrorism. Stabbing 5 people, committing an act of violence specific to a race. This guy is literally a terrorist by definition.
I don't think he is, mate.
Again, I say this every day when he talks about this. He doesn't know what terrorist means. He thinks it means someone that doesn't look like me. What it really means is violence for political or religious motives.
That's what he... So Hamas. So Hamas is a terrorist organization, according to Sneeko, after he's been spending like the last 2 years saying that Hamas are the good guys.
5 people, and the quote is, I'm protecting the country from these effing Muslim bastards raping our young daughters. You probably saw an Elon Musk tweet or just saw one of Asmongold's reports.
That's right. It's Asmongold and Elon Musk are killing Muslims now because they're reporting on what's honestly happening. Man, my biggest fear is that if ISIS detonates a nuclear bomb and kills 50 million Americans, is the backlash on peaceful Muslims.
It's got to be similar to the San Diego attack. They think that they're doing what's right.
About something bad happening.
The San Diego attack was a Muslim that murdered a bunch of guys in a bar in an Islamic terrorist attack who had property of Allah written on his shirt. And Sneeko calls it a false flag. And he's really mad that everyone is calling out a Muslim for killing a lot of Christians. You have to understand. Muslim kills Christians. Muslims are the victims. Get it?
The people like him. That's it.
And you got to realize, I don't know if Asmongold knows.
All right, get ready. Here comes the nuclear take.
He does. But the people that are pushing these false stories out about 250,000, which is not...
It's a false story that all these children are raped.
Not been confirmed. They don't do this...
It's been pretty confirmed.
...to try to protect the West.
Yes, they do. They absolutely do.
Protect the white race and protect Christianity. They push it purposely to instill division within normal people so we are distracted and because they can conquer and
yes, you are distracted. You think that the Muslims raping white children is a bad thing, when in actuality, it's just part of their culture.
Divide, because they can conquer once we're divided. That's why these are pushed. That's why these stories get spoken about.
You know, honestly, he's so right. You know, I would totally not hate Muslims if they wouldn't have raped 250,000 white women in England. He's so right for this. What am I supposed to say to an argument like this? Holy shit, man. I can't believe he's falling for it. He's falling for the propaganda, man. And now he hates Muslims because they rape people all the time. They start wars all over the place. Fuck. Man, we really shouldn't have reported on 9/11 at all. Think about the backlash on peaceful Muslims.
Because attacks like this on the street is how you instill fear. You can only control us because they have an
Who's they?
Overwhelming
The
disadvantage.
Jews. That's the Jews.
When it comes to numbers. Regular people outnumber the people in charge. And so they feed us these stories. They feed us these divisive news stories specifically to maintain their control.
That's right. They've invented 250,000 women that were raped by Muslims. They invented that. They came up with that. They had a lab, and they artificially created homunculi that come installed with PTSD from Muslims raping them. Totally real. Totally true. Yeah, absolutely. Don't believe your lying eyes. Don't believe your lying eyes. Man, it's crazy seeing Asmongold today basically repeating the points I've been saying about Hassan and Sneeko about 6 months ago. It's wild. You know, I started covering like the Islamification of the West, and then Asmongold literally, he fucking... Call me Nuxtradamus the way I predict this shit, but it's crazy watching it happen.
How are we doing today? Parasite, grifter, nepotism, baby. Are suits fitting okay? Yes, they're fitting.
Why would you read this?
Pretty good. Do you like it?
No, I don't. It looks awful.
True.
This looks terrible.
Looks
Why
like
would
a
you wear a
grandma.
striped undershirt with a this circular pattern tie?
Grandma
You know what
tie.
he looks like? It's like in the Bible, right? I'm talking about the Old Testament. Like if Satan comes, like basically, because, you know, Satan is always a very well-dressed man. He's, you know, like very well-groomed, etc. And, you know, so obviously people will believe him. Same as Sauron in Lord of the Rings, by the way. Or the Silmarillion, actually, in this circumstance. So, I mean, can you imagine, like, this is what Satan would appear as. He would.
Real.
If there was like...
Bro, do you, any of you remember 1 year ago I was making my Hassan series and basically putting him on everybody's radar for being a terrorist? And yet Asmongold basically being like, oh, we just have different opinions. He's probably not that. Do you remember? And now he's out here calling him Satan. God, dude. This is what I'm trying to do on the internet, by the way. I'm trying to tell the truth in a very slightly radical way that people can actually interpret and spread the ideas, and it fucking works. It fucking works!
Like a 1970s movie of like the Wolf of Wall Street, and it's a guy that's wanting to make a deal with the devil. And the reason why I'm saying this is because this looks like rattlesnake print on your fucking on your tie. It does. It looks awful. This is the worst tie I've ever seen in my life.
True.
It's Mephisto or so. Yeah, Mephisto. Oh,
yeah, this tie looks like a war crime.
Mephisto, right?
This tie is literally sadder than the genocide in Palestine. Okay, all right.
Is more important than
extreme.
a movement that's that wants to put workers first and like improve people's lives. And then these
here fighting for socialism and terrorism.
guys' whole ordeal is like waging a fucking internet drama war.
The center of Hassan's ideology is not putting workers first. The center of his ideology is enabling domestic terrorism and Islamic terrorists across the world.
He's saying the things that I said like a year ago, and everyone called me out for being too radical. Oh,
Here's the
my
reason
God.
why I say that. Is because there have been multiple instances where other people want that exact same thing, but they disagree on the Islamic terrorism component.
Yeah.
And because of that, Hassan cuts contact with them and treats them as they're an enemy.
Yeah.
So you can have disagreements with him about, for example, unions. You can have disagreements with him for example, you know, LGBT stuff. He's not going to be on, like, I wonder if the Houthis agree with him on that or not.
He doesn't care.
I wonder.
Because at least they're killing some innocent people, and that makes him happy.
The one thing that you can't disagree with him on is Islamic terrorism.
Right, that's the bar. You can't disagree with that one.
And
that's why, like, he'll talk to like an LA mayoral candidate and be like, "What are your thoughts on Palestine?" Who fucking cares about Palestine? She's running for the mayor of LA, and the first question is Palestine, because that's ultimately what matters to him. What matters to him is the Islamic terrorism.
The reason why is because that is the core of his ideology.
That's right.
That is the.
You have no idea how vindicated I fucking feel watching this. 1 year ago, I was getting shit from everywhere. Everywhere. All right? Even from Asmongold, by the way. He called me out like a year ago. He said, I'm going too hard. You know, it sounds like whatever. He's a radical guy, whatever. But vindication is fucking crazy. Crazy.
Twitch once banned me for saying cracker, by the way. Oh, no. And this is Hassan trying to get me in trouble because I don't want to go and listen to this, right? Meanwhile, Hassan spent weeks talking about the Epstein files. He spent months talking about how bad the Epstein files were. Did he talk at all about the rapes in Britain? No, he never did. It's because you never actually
he loves rape. Because Hassan loves rape, in my opinion. In my opinion, Hassan is just a rape enthusiast.
cared. Just like
big fan of Diddy, went to Diddy parties, brothels in Germany, allegedly had sex with a 15-year-old there. That is an allegation made by someone else, not by me, but I'm just repeating it because he never addressed it to my knowledge. And he loves Hamas, terrorist rapists. He loves the Houthi rapists. He likes the Hezbollah rapists. He likes the Islamic regime rapists in Iran. All right, he likes the rapists in England. He just loves rape, I think. I think he just loves rape. He likes open borders, which includes infinite child trafficking, hundreds of thousands of kids child trafficked over the border. And in my opinion, I think child trafficking is like instant death penalty. I don't even think that's open for discussion. But the reality is Hassan, in my opinion, just loves rape.
It's like you don't care about this issue either. The only reason why you're caring about it is you view it as politically convenient.
That's right.
Politically beneficial.
That's right.
But you're going to spread and promote this as much as you want.
That's right.
Because you think that you can have some moral upper hand with it. And no, absolutely not.
That's right.
Whenever I have people that are systematically ignoring this entire thing over and over and over.
And then they expect you to get involved when a British patriot allegedly stabs 5 people. In my opinion, he didn't. I don't think he has, mate. But you keep saying he did.
And this is what they do. Yeah, Hassan forgot to eat his hourly Snickers, I guess. Well, I think this is the problem, is that these people downplay the rapes of literally hundreds of thousands of people. The rapes, the sexual...
Because they don't care.
Trafficking.
Because they hate the West and they want the West to die. And this is a really easy way to do it.
The torture, the mutilation, the forced abortions constantly over and over and over. And then the moment that some other crazy asshole does something bad, they expect everybody else to be completely sympathetic.
That's right.
This is outrageous.
That's right. Actually, they don't think that the torture and rape is bad, in my opinion. I think they actually think that's just very productive in regards to destroying the West. So I don't think that they think that's a bad thing at all.
It's just more, it's more basically them defending themselves on an ethnic or a religious basis. Everybody agrees and knows that it's bad to stab people. That's the reason why. Of little girls, yeah. And these are people that are complicit with that, and they always want to have the moral upper hand. And I'm sorry, but I'm just simply not interested in giving that to them anymore. I'm not.
And everything changed. Everything changed. What can I say? All I'm saying is I called this a year ago, and back in the day when Asmongold was trying to be good faith, and I got so many people in my comments telling me, I don't know why Asmongold said this about you or whatever. He's saying you went too far, you covered it too much. Asmongold gives Hassan so much leeway. Not anymore. Not anymore. The ideas have broke through containment. We are here. Just gigantic W's all around. A clap and a half to my glorious audience for helping it happen. My ideas, they don't disseminate just because I speak them into the world. They disseminate because people agree with them and spread them to other people. Look, I'm just a blue retard on the internet. I'm not trying to do my absolute best here to change the world, but I am changing the world, and all of you are too. The reality is, every single one of us, made in the image of God, is here for a reason. And in fact, if you wouldn't be here for a reason, why would God bother making you? Do your part. Build a good life. Be the change you want to see in the world. And you're going to watch the world change. Now, this story was absolutely massive. It was everywhere. And honestly, I think it's perfect. I think it's a perfect way to talk about what the issues throughout all of the West, all of this infinite empathy we have for morons. Breaking, man arrested after toddler ended up in a crocodile enclosure, not fit for interview, and released. Wow, they let him go. Isn't that nice? Let's understand this story a little better. The headline is missing an important context. The toddler ended up in the enclosure because he threw the toddler in it. Understand, this is a migrant, almost certainly. All right, again, this is a 99% chance this is a Pakistani Muslim man that threw a child into an alligator enclosure. Okay? They arrested the guy because that's pretty fucking horrible. And then they released him because he wasn't fit for an interview. So they put this fucking animal back on the streets. Isn't this fucking insane? It's crazy. You cannot make it up. Literally throwing a baby into an alligator enclosure to die. All right, I think the baby was saved. The mother jumped into the alligator enclosure and pulled the baby out or something. But anyway, let's cover the story. So this is my favorite British goth guy who's really fucking fed up with the rape of his nation. So I'm really glad whenever he covers this shit.
Year-old has been thrown into a crocodile enclosure by...
Isn't that crazy? It's crazy. Think about it, dude.
Unrelated 30-year-old stranger. And
right, and they don't want to release the name or the information on the guy, which means it's a Muslim. Look, look, I don't want to be that guy. I don't listen, man. They call me Islamophobic, but they can't call me wrong. What can I say? What can I say? If it was a white guy, they would have said it immediately. So I'm just saying, I'm just noticing.
A lot of people assumed, because none of the description of the stranger has been released, that he's most likely some sort of migrant, most likely of the black or brown variety. And that's why he did it, because it was anti-white. And people rightfully believed this to be the case, because essentially what happened is this.
Gigantic cover-up, media lies about it, headlines are fake.
There are no details of the assailant released by the police.
Oh, there is one detail that was released. The assailant was released. That's right. Not only do we not know who he was, because this could foment racism, you might not be comfortable leaving your 3-year-old toddlers within arm's reach of gigantic brown behemoths from the third world. You might not be comfortable with that anymore. That would be terrible, obviously. Obviously, it's better to be racist and eaten by It's better to be not racist and eaten by crocodiles than racist and not get eaten by crocodiles. This is the moral retardation that we're dealing with. Actually, discrimination, this is the nuclear take, is a good thing. Discrimination is fucking awesome, actually. It keeps you alive.
It's usually because he was not white.
Yeah.
If he was white,
then
they would say
know
his name, and there'd be a face picture
if
posted, and we'd all know who
it was. Fucking Jack Smith, we would know it was Jack Smith. Interestingly enough, we don't know who it was.
This baby.
Remember, the BBC is running defense for every terrorist organization they could think of, including Hamas, all right, not limited to, and including Hamas, including the grooming gangs in England. All right, just understand.
This 3-year-old, on most likely his first day at a zoo, and most likely his last, was thrown into a crocodile enclosure by this unrelated 30-year-old stranger.
We don't know
who
who
was
it
not
is.
related, was not with the kid, was not related to the kid, was not related to the parents of
That's
the
pretty
kid,
fucked up.
completely unrelated. And a lot of people speculated that this person was most likely black or brown, which may still be the case. However, details are arising that this person, this 30-year-old stranger that threw a toddler into a crocodile enclosure, was actually there for a day trip as part of a group for the mentally handicapped. So the initial
So
report...
they just took mentally ill retards and put them within arm's reach of children. Wow, a much better solution.
Reports could possibly be obfuscated because he is mentally incapable and is most likely seen as a vulnerable person, and that's why they haven't released his information yet. And on top of that, he was brought in for questioning and was unfit for questioning. So he's that kind of f***ed up. He's that kind of... And he had a bail, and it was paid for the next day. We don't know how much that was or who paid it, and that's all the details we have at the moment.
Isn't that incredible? Isn't it incredible? The most unbelievable atrocity could happen just in front of your eyes, and the government will just whisk it away. No details known. Don't know who did it. Don't know why he did it. Don't know what happened. Guy goes to jail, immediately released, unfit for questioning, unfit to even know who the guy fucking is. Just out back into the wild to throw more kids into crocodile enclosures. Isn't that incredible? It's just incredible. It's just absolutely shocking that this is allowed to happen. This isn't justice, obviously.
For the kid, critical condition, though stable. So the kid was f***ed up, okay? As you could probably imagine. The fall alone...
Like, this dude obviously should not be allowed in public, ever. Duh.
...into the enclosure caused quite considerable amount of injury to the kid. And... the kid was then subject to attacks from a few crocodiles, I've been led to believe. The wife of the zoo owner, along with a few other enclosure rangers, or whatever the fuck you call them, they also jumped in immediately into the enclosure to rescue the child. The child was then airlifted from the zoo and is in critical but stable condition. So far the kid is not dead, so that's
actual nightmare. How is there a story like this every day coming out of fucking Rape Island over there? How is this happening daily? Oh my god, Jeebus Fleebus. It's insane. It's absolute insanity. Now, again, tolerance to these retards that are throwing babies into crocodile enclosures is intolerance, obviously, to the babies that are getting mauled by crocodiles. Duh. Right? It's the most logical thing in the world. Now, again, for some reason, and I've said this before, we have a book. All right? It's a book. It's a book. Some of you might have heard of it. It's called the Bible. It was narrated, at the very least, by God. All right. It has been preserved for the last 3,000 years with 0 changes done. And we know that for a fact. We found ancient scrolls. It's exactly the same. And somehow, the system it designed is still better than every fucking idea that anyone comes up with. All these enlightened libtard morons that decided they know better than God have decided that actually we should just be infinitely tolerant to these fucking savage retards. And then the Bible is like, no, actually we need to execute people that try to kill people. You try to kill someone, you die. The end. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed. Goodbye. Over. Sorry. I'm just saying, and I've said this before, and I got a little flack for it, which is why it bears repeating, because obviously that means if you get pushback, it means you're saying the right thing. Slavery is more moral than mass illegal immigration. Thank you for listening.
That's great. That's good. Again, anything involving children affects me so terribly. It really does. It's really, really hard to imagine. I've taken a 3-year-old to the zoo many times, to the aquarium. And now that I mention that, I never once took my eyes off that kid. Not once. Because you don't want to miss a single moment of wonder on their little faces. How was this guy able to get near the kid long enough to lift him up and throw him over? Was it really quick? Was it fast? Why was no one watching this roaming? Where were his handlers?
Well, that's the question, is where are the handlers? I mean, to be honest, this guy might just be some inbred Pakistani guy with 60 IQ, and they're like, oh, not fit for trial. For all you know. All right, and he just goes there, and he takes a kid and throws him into the enclosure. That could take 3 seconds, by the way. All right, for all you know, there's a mom whose one kid is crying, so the mom bends down to take care of that kid, and in that 1 second period, bro just lifts this toddler out of a stroller and throws him in the crocodile enclosure. For all you know, that could happen. And, you can't even blame the mom. This is not normal. This is absolute savage behavior. I'm not saying the mom is blameless, because obviously I don't know the actual circumstances, but it is very feasible and possible that this savage took one moment and ruined this child's life and parents' life. I've taken my nieces and nephews to the zoo. It's fun. It's always fun. Kids like animals. I like animals. All of God's creations I find incredible, and stuff like that. Would you even imagine just a barbarian walks up behind you, picks up a kid, throws the kid in the enclosure in the span of 1 second in the enclosure with crocodiles? It's barbarism beyond your understanding. And that's the type of shit you just need to deal with every single day in England.
His carers, we need to know the full details of this, because the more I talk about it, the more it doesn't seem to make any fucking sense. The more I talk about this story, the more I can't understand exactly what the order of events was. How do you take your eyes off the kid long enough for this to happen? Was it like a flash thing that happened? Right, so 3-year-old boy thrown to crocodile enclosure and suffered serious injuries. Reports mentioned broken bones. Some early accounts referenced potential crocodile-related injuries, but later ones noted no bites. Okay, so the child was not actually attacked by the crocodiles. It seems that the injuries the kid sustained were almost entirely from being thrown into the enclosure. The fall must have been quite considerable. He was airlifted to Addenbrooke's Hospital in Cambridge and is in critical but stable condition. The man's actions and status, as he is described as a stranger to the child. Reports consistently say he threw or forced the boy into the enclosure. He was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. He has learning difficulties, learning disabilities.
Oh, he's inbred. We gotta let him keep throwing kids into crocodile enclosures then. We just have to have empathy because he's inbred. That's right, his parents are first cousins, and therefore he's allowed to murder British children.
Or possible mental health issues, and was assessed as not fit for interview. He was released on bail until September 18th. Wow. So he's not going to be in court. He's not going to be in court until September 18th, 2026. So he's just walking around until then. This murderous is actually just walking around the streets, free as anything or anyone, until September 18th, 2026. His full identity, background, or exact motives have not been released. The zoo owner's wife, Tracy Johnson, reportedly jumped into the enclosure to help the boy. Wow. Zoo staff then took over and pulled the child out. It was at a place called Johnson's of Oldhurst, also called Johnson's Zoo, a family-run farm and zoo near Huntingdon in Cambridgeshire, Eastern England. Crocodile enclosure held up to 10 crocodiles. Additional context, police have appealed for witnesses who were at the zoo that day and urged the public to avoid speculation online, as it is.
Why? Why are you telling the public to avoid speculation? It seems like the speculation's correct. I love when they do that. Instant something happens in England, a white guy does the crime, instant speculation, the motives are out there, white people are going too far, Elon Musk should have never bought Twitter, Elon Musk is killing people because of his purchase of Twitter, they immediately go down that rabbit hole. All right, here you get some fucking retard throws a kid into a crocodile enclosure. Do not speculate, we're not going to tell you anything, we're just going to let him out, actually.
Is an active criminal investigation. The zoo issued a statement expressing thoughts and prayers for the boy and his family. No further personal details about the man, for example, name, occupation, and prior history, have been made public as of the latest reports. This appears to be a very recent incident. For the most up-to-date information, check official sources like Cambridgeshire Police updates or reputable UK news outlets. Let's check out Cambridgeshire Police. 9 hours, 4 hours, man released on bail. Guardian. Man arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. Ended up in a crocodile enclosure. Has been released.
We're not going to tell you who was.
Interviewed.
We're not going to tell you anything about him.
Has been bailed while the detectives from the Major Crimes Unit conduct further inquiries. The force.
Just horrors beyond your understanding. They will destroy your universe. They will take your oak door and use it as firewood. Literally nightmares beyond your wildest dreams will happen as you import the savages that are just supposed to just assimilate and be exactly and just like us. I mean, why would you possibly assume that these people would not just absolutely love to be exactly like us? You don't think that this guy can assimilate into Western civilization? I mean, this is just a 32-year-old married to a pregnant 11-year-old. Why on earth would you think that people like this can't assimilate? Would you assume that they might commit crimes even? I personally wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't say so. Because I'm not racist. I'm anti-racist. I'm so anti-racist, I want to deport every single one of these guys from our country. Man, that's me being anti-racist. You see, a real racist supports the industrialized rape of 250,000 white kids in England. I, being an anti-racist, very much don't want that to happen.
Because he's not fit to be interviewed. 30-year-old from Norfolk has been bailed while the detectives from the Major Crimes Unit conduct further inquiries. The force said officers were called to Johnson's Aldhurst Zoo in the afternoon, 1:24 p.m. on Thursday, over reports of an incident involving a 3-year-old boy during which he ended up in the crocodile enclosure. The boy was pulled out of the enclosure by staff from the zoo. He was taken to Edinburgh Hospital. We know all this. Villager who did not want to be named told PA Media that the zoo owner's wife, Tracy Johnson, jumped into the enclosure to try and save the child. In a statement posted on social media, Johnson said, "Our thoughts and prayers with the child. Out of respect to the family, our tropical house will remain closed until further notice. If you have any questions about the incident, please direct inquiries to Cambridgeshire Police Constabulary." And here we go with the typical journalist padding. According to its website, the zoo is home to over 1,000 fascinating animals, including African lions, Bengal tigers, and crocodiles. The zoo's 2 largest crocodiles are called Romeo and Cuddles. The zoo says on its Facebook page, Charlotte Lowe, a Huntingdonshire district councillor, said she can't fathom how the boy ended up in the crocodile enclosure.
I could fathom. Did
she read the report? That's all we know about what's happening with this crocodile situation. However, you may have seen online that people are talking about the fact that the reason why the police are not releasing the name of the guy who was involved is because they're trying to protect the identity of an immigrant. But
I mean, listen, man, if it turns out that Ahmed Muhammad, the rape refugee, decided to throw a kid into the crocodile enclosure, that might draw a backlash against peaceful Muslims.
Look, that is the case. Okay, you are you're very justified in thinking that that's the case because
Listen, man, it's not Islamophobia, okay? It's true. I mean, what do you want me to say? This is why they're covering it up, obviously. Like, this is how they operate in the darkness. You know, I'm just gonna assume it until I'm proven otherwise. I'm sorry. That's what you forced us to do. Right? Nothing makes you more racist than the fucking mainstream media.
Police do that. If it is a white guy, they tell you straight away, almost as if they're bragging about the fact that it's a white guy. If they withhold the identity of the perpetrator, it's usually because they're a f***ing immigrant and they don't want this story getting out, right? They want to make sure that the story information has died down a bit before they release that information covertly. And you know what? Another thing as well, it's totally believable, isn't it? It's totally believable. You heard a story about a kid a white kid being thrown into an enclosure by a complete 30-year-old stranger, and everyone went immigrant, and people were just kind of like, yeah, probably. Do you have any idea how much of a societal problem that is? That societal trust is that low?
And then they blame racism. Then they blame white supremacy and racism. That's why you're blaming the immigrants for doing this. And then the immigrants just fucking do it. It's like, well, what am I supposed to do? They're doing it, man. It's racist for you to notice that it's probably Ahmed Muhammad that threw the fucking kid into an enclosure with crocodiles.
Have squandered so much of our welcoming nature by being such reprehensible pieces of shit. Whenever something like this happens without any confirmation at all, people are just like, it was probably a migrant, it's probably a Muslim. And people—
But the thing is, and then the media decides that they're going to say, please do not speculate. Please do not speculate means it was Ahmed Muhammad, the rape refugee. Okay? That's what please do not speculate means. Because they don't give a shit if the speculation is that it was white people. They do not care. All right, so when they say do not speculate, we're like, all right, dude.
But we're super confident in making that assumption. In fact, it still might be true. This guy might believe in Muhammad, right? Which is a mental in itself. Praise Muhammad. Praise Allah. Right? They really think this is no praising that kind of shit is mentally doing that shit anyway. So maybe that is it. It's like, yeah, we have some people here who have cerebral palsy, and some of them have MS, and some of them have
some people contracted Islam,
have learning difficulties and brain deformations. What about that guy? Oh, well, he's just a Muslim, right? So why is he here? Because he's a Muslim, right? How? Yep. Yeah, fits right in with the people with Down syndrome.
Oh. Listen, man, you want to make fun and shit, but this is a religion that's still to this day telling you to fucking wipe your ass with rocks and brush your teeth with sticks, okay? Like, let's be real here for a second. They think that Muhammad flew into heaven on a fucking giant winged horse, all right? Like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. They think you fucking blow yourself up and you get to have sex with children in heaven for eternity. Like, there are some questions. There are some questions, man. All right, don't even get me in on Islamic astrology. Holy shit.
Oh, my God. You know what? I actually can't remember the last time a kid with Down syndrome drove his car into a crowd of people at a Christmas market. That's exclusively a Muslim thing, actually. I could totally see that happening, right? You've got those buses that are specifically designated for mentally handicapped people, you know, people with Downs or severe autism or any of those other things. And
listen, man, we criticize China for a lot of things, but they did open up those fucking, those fucking, you know, the camps, the fucking re-education camps, you know, Chinese people were like, that man, he's Muslim, he believes geocentrism, he thinks sun and moon move in defined orbits around Earth, and that Earth doesn't rotate around sun. He Muslim, he thinks shooting stars are missiles, teaching Muslims to fucking bomb Jews. It's a real thing, by the way. We needed to re-educate him. He Muslim. He believes semen comes from between the backbone and rib cage. Man, if the Quran is like the word of God, God really seems to like have been missing some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it is the word of Allah. And then he's just consistently wrong about like everything. You know, listen, man, I'm just asking questions here.
And then you just see like a fucking turban wearing a towel head in the back, like a 70 IQ Muslim. All right, Abdul, where are you going today, buddy? We're going to the zoo. Are you gonna have fun? Yes. Now, you're not gonna throw kids into the crocodile enclosure. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Oh, well, you said have fun. That's my idea of fun. Find a kid into the enclosure. Go home. Inshallah.
And then they'll let him out of fucking prison because he's too retarded to be in jail.
I'm just glad the kid is fucking stable, but I can't imagine the trauma of this being a parent, man. That is absolutely disgusting. I can't imagine the panic of those parents. No, I can. No, I can imagine that for a couple of seconds before I don't want to imagine it anymore. Absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous story.
You see, the empathy, that's the people that import the people that throw children into crocodile enclosures. Having a lack of empathy, that is not wanting people to throw children into crocodile enclosures. Make that make sense. Now, this story was going viral. We gotta talk about some good old-fashioned morons absolutely destroying their entire reputations because they were too woke. They were too woke. They went woke, they went broke, you know, the classic tale. So this is the actress of Supergirl, just trying to destroy her entire movie that's coming out, which is pretty awesome. Love when they do that by being woke, dude. It's incredible that they haven't learned their lesson, it seems. Hollywood people, they're still in a bubble. They think we're still tolerating this. They have lost their way.
Discussion online about Kara's queerness in the comics. Was that something that you explored when you were preparing for the role?
It wasn't, but in honor of Pride Month, as I'm getting all these questions, I don't know. I think that what makes this film so beautiful is that it's not centered around a man. It's not centered around...
All right, so part one to her response. This whole exchange is 30 seconds. Her response is like 15 seconds. All right. Part one of her response, men bad.
I love it all. If anything.
Part two, love bad.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I don't really know, but I don't know. I don't know.
It's great.
She'd probably go both ways.
She'd probably go both ways. Part three, gay stuff. All right, well, at least we've narrowed down the amount of genders that exist to 2. Colossal W. LGBT doesn't want to tell you that the B implies that there's no such thing, that there are only 2 genders, but obviously we don't want to get into moral lacks of logic on the left. So numbers tanked. All the pre-sale numbers went really, really badly, so they decided to bring out the trump card, the actual final nuke on the advertising budget. That's right. They have released feet. That's right. Absolutely miserable numbers coming out of DC right now. So they decided to unleash feet. Maybe they'll get the foot fetishists interested in what's going on. Pretty good stuff, all in all. Love to see it. Now, apparently, this whammon over here, the star of Supergirl, she's even worse than Rachel Ziegler. Apparently, she's going out there doing this whole thing. Obviously, Hollywood is still trying to push their garbage agenda of anti-natalism and stuff. Just remember the 3 tenets that she stated, all in one sentence. Men bad, love bad, bisexual, okay? Just understand, they just don't want people to have children. It's like, it's actually crazy. You know, it really is wild. You know, they don't want you to get married. They don't want you to have no man. Girl boss around. They are literally fucking stuck in their death spiral of woke, and they cannot escape. They cannot escape its clawing, gripping demise. So Sydney Watson made a video on this lock-in, boys and girl.
Alcock, who I'm going to call Millie in this video because I'm not sure how many times YouTube will let me say the word cock without having issue.
Meanwhile, I just make a video talking about Muslims raping girls all over England. Yeah, I sometimes wonder why YouTube has problems with me, yeah.
The actress who is playing Supergirl in the new Supergirl and has been doing her own press junket for this film, given that it is soon to hit cinemas. If it matters, and I'm not sure if it does, Supergirl is a DCU movie adapted from the 2022 comic Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And it follows a girl called Kara, who is an alien, who is sent on a journey of revenge and justice and brings her dog along, I don't know. She briefly appeared in the last Superman movie and added absolutely nothing to the story, so that's fun.
Thanks for watching it, bitch!
Some 35-year-old millennial woman wrote this scene.
Yep.
I just know it. Worth noting that Supergirl as a comic series has been around since the late 50s. This matters, but we'll come back to it a little bit later. So during her press interviews, Millie has made a series of comments about this film that not only have people raising an eyebrow,
let's
but
go,
also,
dude.
in my opinion at least.
Dude, I love when these people do it. It's like, it's insane. They can't help themselves. They can't help themselves from, like, trying to inject their bullshit everywhere. Right, in honor of Pride Month, let me remind you that all of society, throughout all of human history, people thought that gay sex was disgusting. And they were right. It is. I'm sorry. What do you want me to say? Everyone, the entire world psyoped into making believe that that shit isn't gross. Yeah, it's fucking gross. Okay, it is. It is. I'm not calling for Sharia law or anything, but, like, we have to be honest about it. Listen, man, there is a reason why 20% of people that have anal sex end up shitting their pants uncontrollably all the time. It's almost like the human body was not designed for that shit.
Feel very, very Rachel Zegler coded.
It's Hollywood, baby.
During this recent interview, for example, the journalist says that Millie's character Kara is a queer icon and asks her why she thinks so.
Queer icon. That's right, because obviously women notoriously fucking suck unless they're gay. That's what they're trying to say.
Many LGBT fans see themselves in this character. Millie, who honestly seems to be quite drunk here, answers that she's played other roles with potentially queer storylines, and she's honored that people think of her this way. Yes, unfortunately...
Yeah, listen, if someone says you're gay, I don't say I'm honored that you think of me this way. And no one else does either. There's a reason why the left is still using gay as an insult.
This is one of those answers.
Over the years, many fans have embraced Supergirl as a queer icon. What do you think is about Kara that inspires that kind of connection?
It means you're ugly. If they're calling you a queer icon, it means you are not attractive to members of the opposite sex. Okay? I'm just gonna hit you with the truth, Nuke. If they say you look like a queer icon, it means you gotta do something about your face. She is one chromosome away from being absolutely fucking retarded.
A few characters that might have a potential queer through line. I have many queer friends, so honestly, I'm kind of honored. I'm honored that, that that's happening, but
Am I wrong that she seems kind of drunk here? Girl is acting like she downed a bunch of tequila shots before she got on the red carpet and is, you know, trying not to take her clothes off. Who is doing the media training for these people? Millie goes on to say that Supergirl doesn't live inside the binary of gender expectations, and then alludes to her character being LGBT, saying that she'd do what she wants to do in the sexuality regard, anyway.
I think because she doesn't live inside the binary of what we think a woman should be, that is what makes her so special and so exciting and so new. And yeah, I kind of thought that as well. I was like, she'd do what she'd want to do in that regard anyway. But yeah, thank you.
I honestly have no idea.
I love how leftist policy is just like, do what you want to do. That's right. If you love is love. And if you love gay sex, then do that. And if you love terrorism, then that's cool too. But if you love the Bible, you're a fascist and a Nazi and we should kill you. That's basically leftist policy these days.
Why these kind of questions come up and why this generation...
We know exactly why these questions come up.
...of journalists and media personalities is completely obsessed with sexuality and with whom you are doing...
Because the media is the propaganda arm of the left-wing party, trying their absolute best to psyop and rape your culture.
The devil's tango.
They hate
Nobody,
God.
and I mean nobody, cares. I think this is one of those talking points that doesn't actually exist in reality, but is being recycled by outlets over and over again, because when I was researching for this video, I didn't really find anybody else talking about this, but I found a bunch of outlets had basically almost verbatim written the same thing about this queer thought process, queer thing that's going on.
The media is dying and trying their absolute best to still grab and latch on to the actual fucking death spiral of their entire ecosystem, because people are actually comfortable saying the things they've been thinking. I think, and this is gonna hit you with the truth nuke, almost everyone thinks that gay sex is gross. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be that guy. I'm not talking about like men watching lesbian porn. I'm talking about men thinking about men having sex with each other. Every man thinks that shit's gross. I'm sorry, everyone does. And if they don't say that, they're lying to you. They do. It's like I could give you a million examples, but it's obviously true.
Supergirl has long carried significance for women, queer fans, and gender diverse readers who see in Kara's story a narrative of self-definition, carving out an identity separate from Superman.
I love how it's like defined comic book character as a +1 to like the Superman universe. Media be like, man, she's really taking women to the next level, bro. She's a fucking alien. Man, she is really carving a path for women where more women could be miserable and alone instead of happy, cared for, and having children. Let's do it, guys.
I don't even know what this means. I don't even think these writers know what this means. Of course, her identity would be separate from Superman.
That's what being a different person is.
She's a completely different character?
That's right.
Guess we're just having another adventure in saying the obvious today. Anyway, the Rachel Zeglering on the red carpet has continued because Millie decided to double down on the LGBT sentiments. Because these actors and actresses are nothing if not predictable. There's actually a group of people who is also incredibly predictable, and that would be...
Muslims? That's right, woke celebrities and Muslims, the two most predictable groups. I'm sorry. That was a joke, obviously. I said it for comedic purposes. This channel is purely comedy-based.
Situation, and whether she explored that when preparing for this role. Millie's answer here made me think of Rachel Zegler's infamous interview where she said that this movie isn't centered around a man. Like, obviously. It's called Supergirl. She finishes this statement off by saying that there is no love story in this film and that her character, Kara, probably goes both ways. She's referring to bisexuality here.
Discussion online about Kara's queer.
Bisexuality is just straight with extra steps, by the way. Like, a lot of these people want to feel included in the LGBT fucking victim snuggling community. So they call themselves bisexual, and then they just they just marry or whatever, fuck the opposite gender. Yeah, bisexuality is a scam.
In the comics, was that something that you explored when you were preparing for the role?
It wasn't, but in honor of Pride Month, as I'm getting all these questions, I don't know. I think that what makes this film so beautiful is that it's not centered around a man. It's not centered around love at all,
Exactly.
if anything.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't really know, but
wow.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's great.
She'd probably go both ways.
I'm really happy that this interview was published on fucking Queerly Radio. Man, W, guys.
Actually, that's a bit rude by 2026 standards. There's no binary. There's 72,000 genders. Bigot. When I say that this reminds me of that one specific Rachel Zegler clip that we all know and love, I really mean it. Here's a quick refresher if you've forgotten, although I don't know how you could. All of us have showed this to you about 1,000 times. Pay attention, Steven!
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
Weird.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
It's so good. Like, every time I say weird, I say it exactly in that way. It's hilarious. It really is. Oh my god, dude. It got to the point that, like, I would say the word weird, and then my wife would respond with weird, with, like, the fucking winks and shit. And I'm like, oh my god, you have to stop watching my videos. I love how it's, like, all projection. These are miserably lonely, deeply lonely people, biologically and spiritually, women, ultimately. And people are going to say, are you talking for women? Yes. Yes, I am talking for women. Women want to get married. They want a husband that loves and cares for them, and they want children that they could raise. That is what every woman wants. A lot of them lie to you and lie to themselves and make believe they don't want that, but they do want that, actually. Even if you don't believe in God, and God says that's what they want, obviously. Men will rule over you. Be fruitful and multiply. You know, like, God made it very clear, if you read Genesis 2, all right, that's what's going on. Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel crying that they want children all the time. Yeah, it's very basic, actually, if you read the Bible. So spiritually speaking, obviously that's true. The men, but from the sweat of your brow you shall eat bread. The women desperately want someone to take care of them and to have children. So I believe the Bible's the word of God, so that's real. But even if you believe in evolution, all right, if you believe in pure radical, I mean, I also kind of believe that evolution is just the design that God used to create reality. But even if you purely believe no spirituality, just a radical Darwinist, okay? then evolution would have designed women to desperately want a man, big, strong man, to take care of them and give them children. Literally, via pure biological evolutionary standards, it makes sense too. But these women, they have been psyoped into thinking that's not the case. The Rachel Zieglers, the fucking Millie Alcock, great name. All right, these retards have been psyoped into believing that that's not true. So they need to make everyone else miserable as well. That's right. That is what we are witnessing right now. We are witnessing pure narcissistic feminism at its finest. These are miserable, lonely girl bosses, and they want everyone to think that they actually did the right things, and their ego forces them to push this shit slopaganda down everyone else's throats too. Because if they admit to themselves that their life is a lie and they are miserable whores, not referring to anyone specifically, I'm just talking about this as a generalization, then they also have to admit to themselves that they fucking failed at life. Then the movie is going to be unsuccessful and they're going to be like, what? I can't believe after I insulted half the population, my movie's unsuccessful.
Prince or a different kind of Prince? We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because like we cast a guy in the movie, right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. Yeah. It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
All Millie really had to say
it's Hollywood,
was that they
baby.
cut all Jason Momoa's scenes, and that's Hollywood, baby. And it would basically be the exact same interview.
It's Hollywood, baby.
But the really, really random, weird comments about Millie's character going both ways is sort of a throwback to criticism progressives had of the show Supergirl, which was on CW for honestly, like I think 10 years or so. People said that the show queer-baited a same-sex romance between Kara and Lena Luthor. And this is due to a bunch of factors like romantic music in scenes, grand gestures between...
Queer baiting is when you have two people that are the same sex and they're friends. Queer baiting is when Frodo and Sam in Lord of the Rings don't fuck each other. That's queer baiting, guys. Oh, I hope you're aware of what these retards are doing in their free time.
The two romantic dialogue, the way the pair act around each other, and so on and so forth. And this made a lot of LGBT people mad because apparently this is a tactic used in Hollywood to make fans of a certain group watch, hoping for the emotional payoff that they want when two same-sex characters get together or something. Maybe this is the same thing. I don't know, but it does feel a little bit reminiscent, especially because the film isn't out yet and they're baiting the queers.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
like so many other films.
Oh, they really want to get those queer views. That's right. That's right, baby. They're really trying to suck up to that 0.1% of the audience that's a little bit retarded. All right, that's what they desperately want.
This one has also been plagued with quite a bit of criticism since the start of this year especially, and a lot of things that Millie Alcock has said have landed her in a little bit of hot water. When she was originally announced in this role, there was some mild disappointment over her age and looks, I guess, not matching the classic Supergirl depictions and aesthetic. Supergirl,
that's because she's ugly. That's because her face, whatever, I'm not allowed to insult people for their features on YouTube. I was literally warned multiple times. I can't. She is a conventionally attractive person, but if she hypothetically would have a clone that looked exactly like her, she would be ugly as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
The original comics looks a lot older and more mature, despite being around, I'm pretty sure, about 16 years old. But the real issues came about when Vanity Fair published an interview with Millie towards the end of March 2026. In this piece, Millie was asked that, after playing a role in House of the Dragon, if the Game of Thrones fandom prepared her for the inevitable backlash.
Bro! That's where she's from. They literally blocked that out of my memory. Yeah, she's Rhaenyra from House of the Dragon. They fucking shoehorned a gay scene into House of the Dragon Season 2. And it made George R.R. Martin decide to stop contributing to the writing. Yeah, I remember that. There was backlash because that's based. Because lesbian relationships are cringe. True.
That she would face playing Supergirl. She said that it made her aware that simply existing as a woman in this space is something that people comment on.
Existing as a woman? Yeah, that's not the problem.
Quote, "We have become very comfortable having this weird ownership of women's bodies. I can't really stop them. I can only be myself." This stuff is such leftist flimflam to me that I know objectively what the words mean, but I have absolutely no idea most of the time what these people are trying to convey because they do it so badly. Maybe she's talking about being objectified, but I kind of feel like she's basically saying that people claim ownership of her as a person and not just a character and expect her to act a certain way, which... all right. But on that front, I mostly think that people want actors and actresses just not to suck. So I don't really think that this has anything to do with sex at all, actually. I don't think that you being a woman is all that relevant. Actually, whether right or wrong, or whether or not this is what she was trying to say, a lot of people took this to be a preemptive strike of sorts on the fandom when they hadn't even said anything yet about Supergirl. About a month later, during an interview with Variety, she commented on this again, saying, "I didn't even say men, I said people, and they got so angry. I was like, you're proving my point. You're proving.
I love when these people do this. It's like, you're a Nazi. No, I'm not. You're a Nazi. No, I'm not. You're a Nazi. No, I'm not. We should kill Nazis. You want to kill me? Oh, so you admit it then? It's like, okay, dude. I love when they do this. Leftists just making believe they don't understand what words mean.
Proving my point. Again, people didn't get mad because you're a woman. They got mad because you're hitting out at potential fans and existing fans who haven't done anything yet. I don't think
she's hitting at males in general, love in general, and Christians in general. All right, when you say that she swings both ways and shit, and then you wonder why people are upset. Are we being serious here?
I think this is the win that you think it is. You said something kind of antagonistic. People were antagonized, and now you're saying, ha! My point is proved. What is your point? That you're annoying? Her comments in this last piece definitely stirred up further drama when it shifted into describing superhero fandom as a place for backlash organized by trolls and incels. Millie said that when people turn to online forums to find guidance, it creates an unhealthy relationship with a person who will eventually and inevitably disappoint their fans. She adds that this is how it's always been for women, and a lot of criticism is coming from profiles with no photo who are burner accounts, or from someone's—
Oh no! An anonymous guy made fun of you on the internet, bro. Literally fucking cry about it. I get death threats every day, hundreds of death threats every day. Fucking cry about it.
And then data 4, Christian, which is hilarious to her. Quote, but I mean, whose opinions do you really care about?
Man, I can't believe a Christian dad doesn't want his children to be watching fucking gay slop. Man, I can't believe it.
Pissing off the right kind of people, you're doing okay. Color me crazy.
The right kind of people are Christian dads of 4, by the way.
I'm not super sure that fans are in fact the right people to piss off, but that could just be me. Some people took this to mean that she was mocking Christians, but really she's just generally mocking fans and critics alike. And what Millie will soon realize, and will probably have to learn the hard way, is that going after fans in general is just never a good idea. About a month ago, even YouTuber Grace Randolph, who has said some of the dumbest things alive, said that if she was Millie's publicist, she would tell her to stop talking for the love of God. She can't stop talking, and she won't. None of these young actors and actresses can, because they just cannot help themselves.
I'm not coming for Millie, I'm giving Millie advice. And I'm surprised that no one has given her this advice before she did the interview, when it would have benefited her the most.
I'm very excited.
The words were
Shut the fuck up.
Not good. I wonder if her publicist—
Yeah, my hot take is telling women to not speak is it takes a Herculean strength to do. Like, what? My advice to women: stop talking, your problems will stop. And then they'd be like, no, I can't, impossible, please.
Sitting in the corner being like, there's nothing I can do. I just must watch this in slow motion. I mean, it was rough.
In an absolutely insane turn of events, even Randolph compared Millie to Rachel Zegler and said that there are certain things that you don't say when promoting a major film. She said that Millie should be trying to befriend the audience before villainizing them. Oh, you think I was under the impression that attacking fans worked out every single time someone did it?
But you would think after Rachel Zegler's interview, multiple interviews, people would have, picked up on maybe some of the things you don't say, right? Maybe just be a little more careful with your words, right? Because,
Hey, woman, think before speaking. That'll work. She cracked the code on this one.
At the end of the day, there's certain fandoms that need to go to this movie for it to succeed. Case in point, the Marvels. They were like, girl power all the way, and then it was 65% male or something, and then the audience actually showed up.
It's not like there's a long established track record here where movies and shows have failed because celebrities failed to keep their mouths shut. What's ironic, though, is that this isn't even the first time that she's done things like this. Back in 2022, during her time on HBO's House of the Dragon, she took stabs at male viewers who were comparing her character to another character, Alicent. She said, what I found quite hilarious is that the fan base is also putting the actors, the young Alicent and the young Rhaenyra, at odds with each other, and choosing who's better also by decision of mostly men.
You mean that you have fans of a show that are debating which character they like more? Holy fuck, we need to kill Christians. Is that what they're saying? Like, are you serious? Well, are you serious? This is unbelievable. It's crazy. Obviously, that was hyperbolic and not actually any of my intentions. I was YouTube's gonna fucking kill me one of these days.
So I think that it's just really effing ironic. None of this is all that weird for a fandom, just by the way. There are fandoms out there that get so much more toxic. Ask me how I know. It's because I go on Reddit regularly and hang out with the neckbeards.
You have a mental illness,
there's a part
Sydney.
of me that feels like Millie
Don't go on
and
Reddit.
honestly, probably even the execs that she's been working with are okay with the backlash, and they don't really mind the chatter online because they've tried to—
Because it doesn't matter. Because if you ignore it, it goes away.
Paint this character of Kara as a person who kind of goes against the grain and starts trouble and is a generally difficult character.
The character Supergirl often gets pigeonholed to being this milquetoast reflection of Superman.
I think she challenges that throughout this film.
For example, in an interview with Beyond Noise magazine sometime in March, I think, Millie said, "I hope that the goal with this film is to have a young, deeply flawed female role model for young girls." No, we're okay. Thank you.
What?
There's enough of those floating around. Quote, "The beauty of Kara is that she's so bad and that's..."
Dude, I love deeply flawed, according to these people, is she's so perfect, but she doesn't even realize how perfect she is, and that's the flaw. You have so many of these. You have so many of these!
That's what makes her good. What? In an interview with Entertainment Tonight in April 2026, she said something similar, saying that she hopes young girls see the film and walk away from it knowing it's okay to be bad, flawed, and messy. She also said that the tagline of the film is that Kara is a bad bitch with a heart of gold.
There are going to be a lot of little girls
I
who
know,
see this.
and that's really going to get me.
She's so flawed because she has so much justice. She has so much justice, and it's just like, sometimes she just has to beat up the bad guys, just beat them so badly. Her biggest flaw is that how big-hearted she is and how little she's able to control herself when she's confronted with evil. That's her biggest flaw.
That's going to be the thing that I'm like, it's going to like well me up, yeah. I feel such kinship with Kara, and I just really want this film
I feel
to
so
be
much kinship with fucking alien superhero. Man, we're like literally the same person. They literally brain rot these people into thinking this.
seen by as many young women, I think, specifically as possible, because I think the message is like, to be good, you have to be a bit bad. Like, it's okay to be flawed.
The message is the flaws are actually your strengths. Who could have possibly predicted this? No, really? What?
But it's okay to be messy as long as your heart is in the right place.
Wow. Nebula's heart shit. Yes, nebulously just follow your heart, not your brain. Great logic. Wow.
With a heart of gold. She is. That is the tagline.
I genuinely don't know how these comments didn't get more attention, especially because...
Yeah, they should have. That shit's miserable. Miserable. You can have the biggest fucking heart in the world, but if you're retarded and your morals are in the wrong place, then you will be weaponized to import infinite rapists to rape 250,000 British girls. All right, and you will do that following your heart. All right, and this shit sucks. It really does.
Sort of things. When a celebrity says
this is just a gigantic manipulation machine. You know the CIA was involved in making this fucking movie.
Something like this, people really like to glob onto them because it's objectively like, what are you even saying? But I think maybe because no one cares about Supergirl and there's no real interest in this movie, it sort of got washed over, and no one's really paid attention to the borderline stupid things that this woman has been saying about her role. But I think this right here is why this film is probably not going to resonate with a bunch of people, especially people who might take their children to see it, which I kind of don't know why you would at this point. But, you know, we're kind of taking leave of the regular Superman family-esque tradition of being very positive and aspirational and going in a bit of a weird direction. And seriously, young girls don't need more basket cases as role models. They need good, positive...
Unless the goal of the fucking retards that are pushing this slop is to basically turn women into emotional basket cases that follow their heart and whatever they're groomed into believing and not get married and they don't need no man. Unless it's literally the goal. Like, I love how she's like, women don't really need these things. Yeah, actually, what if that's why they're doing it, though?
Nice people to look up to, and there is a distinct lack of that. In addition to all of this, it's pretty clear that Millie
That's because a good role model for women and stuff would be a woman who is loved by her husband, but supports him through incredibly tough times, and raises a family to be incredibly virtuous people that do good. That would be a role model for women, and there's a very obvious reason why Hollywood is not pushing that out. Duh.
Tried to retrofit modern identity politics onto this character. One who I think more or less was created to serve as, I guess, a wholesome female counterpart to Superman in a more innocent era. In the Variety article that I referenced earlier, Kara is described as punk rock, and in interviews, Millie has articulated this as well.
One designer that inspired me for playing Kara was Vivienne Westwood. She very much reflects Kara's spirit. She's very rock and roll, very punk, very anti-authoritarian. I just think she's kind of in the universe. And
anti-authoritarian? Are you fucking serious? These people don't know the words that they say.
artist that inspired me for Kara was Amel and the Sniffers. They are an Australian punk band, and I think that Amy, who's the lead singer, reminds me of Kara so much. I think that they would be friends.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I find these interviews so funny because, number one, these questions are so silly as it is. I can promise you now, she wasn't taking inspiration from any of these people when she was putting together who her character is and acting out this role. And number two, these conversations always come across as quite disingenuous and people getting high on their own nonsense, and they have these sort of...
Oh yeah, the reason I like Kara because she's anti-authoritarian. Yeah, I'm sure she is.
Cyclical conversations trying to out...
Superman literally works for the fucking media. Are you serious?
...fool one another, and it's just... It's like, what am I listening to? This is how I know that I have crossed the threshold into angry grandpahood, because I listen to this and I can't help but think, shut up! Just for the love of God, shut up! The argument that they make here is...
This is literally advice you could give to 90% of famous women. I'm just saying. And I say 90% because the other 10% aren't that egregious.
Is that Supergirl in this film is rough around the edges because she's based on a 2022 interpretation of this character. The edgy one who gets drunk and goes and visits her cousin and does other sort of, you know, naughty, messy stuff. Not the original classic Kara, who absolutely lives inside the binary of mid-20th century womanhood and is decidedly not gay, she just adds superpowers and heroism on top of everything. Who is not punk rock, but the cheerful, optimistic girl of steel who's both super...
You know, actually, good values. In general, good values, just be an uplifted, happy person. Be a happy person that wants to see good happen in the world. Yeah, good things like that.
Powered and human in her adjustment to life on Earth.
Now we got a punk rock bitch with a bad bitch with buck teeth, and she's gonna save the world. But messily, because girls gotta be messy.
She's often contrasted with Clark Kent / Superman as the more impulsive, or I guess maybe emotionally raw person because of her later arrival to the planet and her team perspective, but nowhere near whatever is going to be going on in this movie. Going back to the comments I showed you at the start of this video, I find it so funny when these actors and actresses and studios claim that they're doing something exciting and new because they rejected gendered expectations, while ignoring decades of the original character and its source material engaging with those gendered expectations. And okay, honestly, if you want to go down this road, you can claim that basically any character has quote-unquote queer appeal, because people are allowed to read into a character's motivations and like them and whatever. But claiming the character of Kara, especially original Kara, doesn't fit traditional womanhood is a significant and definitely absurd misread.
Yeah.
And to be clear here, although this film is not geared...
It's not a misread, it's intentionally promoting a fake agenda, obviously.
Towards me, I am not its target demographic. I don't think that there's anything wrong, and I've said this on a number of occasions, I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to tell a different kind of story using something that already exists, provided that you are doing...
Sure, I'll give you an example. I think making Homelander as a Superman knockoff is really fucking cool. Here you got this guy, he has all these powers, you know, he flies and he's strong and he has laser eyes and shit, and he's an authoritarian, narcissistic psychopath. I think that's really good. But there's a big difference between doing that and making Superman, the actual Superman character, a narcissistic psychopath.
The original IP service, provided that you are doing a good job of respecting that original creation. But I don't really know who this is for. Not for me, that much is clear. I'm also not gonna lie, I am a little surprised that these comments haven't gotten as much attention as they usually would, because I think we are seeing on display once again another young actress leaning into the whole, it's me by myself and I am up against the patriarchy and all the toxicity. I will say that there are some fandoms that are not very nice, but I think by and large, with relation to fans of superhero movies and these kind of stories, they don't typically go after an actress or an actor unless they're doing and saying things that are corrosive and disrespectful. I find Millie Alcock really quite unlikable, but I also think by the same token that she was set up for failure, because I don't know who wanted this movie. And like I mentioned, and perhaps more importantly,
I know who wanted the movie. Rich people wanted to make money off an IP because they can't actually create anything. Evil doesn't create, it can only corrupt. All right, listen, you watch Lord of the Rings, and Sauron invented the most powerful weapon ever known. It's this fucking one ring. It's super powerful. You know what it does? It just corrupts people. That's the only thing it does. And it makes people invisible. It makes people be able to become corrupt retards and not actually be seen while they're doing it. The orcs are contorted fucking elves, all right? And you got the Nazgul are just contorted humans. Right? That is the story of Lord of the Rings. Evil cannot create, it can only corrupt. And that's what we're witnessing in Hollywood as they push out infinite slopaganda because they can't actually create anything new.
You have James Gunn saying that this movie is going to be the edgier version of Superman. And I don't think anyone wants that either. So inevitably, we wind up with a movie that is probably not going to do so well at the box office, and we end up with a lead actress.
You mean to tell me that they alienated 90% of their audience and now the movie's not going to do well? That's crazy.
Is doing the same.
It's probably the far right.
Insufferable dance as her predecessors. And in the end, as per usual, it just didn't have to go this way. But also per usual, they just can't help themselves. Now,
the woman couldn't not say the things.
on that note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder to check out Incogni using the link in the description. I feel very strongly about data brokers. I hope you do as well. So it is imperative that you get your private information off the internet. So absolutely check Incogni out. They are very good at what they do, and I genuinely use them and genuinely recommend them. Now I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Are you on my side?
I think that the women need to talk less. I'm really glad you asked. Thank you so much. Great video, by the way. Yeah, just another instance of suicide by woke. Many such cases. It won't stop here. What's not the first, won't be the last. Keep fucking brutalizing these franchises. Please do. Thank you. It'll just make this pendulum swing be so much more fucking vindicating when it happens. We have AI now. All right, you're all getting replaced. It's gonna be glorious. And you'll cry about it. And that will be glorious too. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This was my deep dive on all of the things in the least homosexual way possible. Covered a lot, big, busy weekend. Lots of things happened. And I covered all of it, sort of. We got more coming. Next video is going to be insane too. I'm already preparing. Japan is fucking tired of like the woke shit too. They are deporting people by the truckload. And a lot of white liberal women in Japan are very upset because obviously they're white and liberal and women, so they're upset. That's what they do. It's their thing. It's what they love. It's their passion. So, you know, they're following their dreams, being upset. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you. I'll see you in the next one. Definitely subscribe. Share the video around. YouTube does not like me. I'm counting on you guys. See you in the next one. Bye.